Hello everybody and welcome in to Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Wilpon Baseball Softball Complex on the campus of the University of Michigan for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Austin Velko bringing you the action today, the second of a quick two-game midweek set for Michigan against the visiting Eastern Michigan Eagles from right down the road in Ypsilanti. Michigan won yesterday over their in-state rivals Michigan State by a score of 7-0 and are looking to keep their what is a 12-game win streak alive going into this one today. They will face an Eastern Michigan lineup that looks as follows. Jeff Timko is the left fielder. He bats first. Zachary Owings is the first baseman in the second spot. Batting third, the catcher Nick Jones. Jared Kaufman bats fourth and plays second. The shortstop in the 5-hole is Taylor Hopkins. Nate Jones bats sixth and plays center field. Shane Esther is the right fielder. He bats seventh. Batting eighth, playing third base is Devin Hager. And rounding out the lineup in the 9-hole is the designated hitter John Rensel Jr. That lineup will go against a first-time starter for the Wolverines today, Joe Pace, making his starting debut. Former utility man for the Michigan Wolverines turned bullpen arm this season, getting the midweek start. He's appeared in 8 games as a pitcher this year, has a .338 ERA. In 8 innings of work, he struck out 13 batters, walked just 2. And batters hit .207 against the right-hander. Working out of the stretch, first pitch of the ball game to Jeff Timko is a strike, swinging on a high fastball. Count is 0-1. Timko coming into this one, the sophomore bats .318 on the season. On base percentage all the way up at .403. He does a good job of starting things off for this Eagles lineup. He fouls one back to the screen here. The count 0-2 now. Timko, the sophomore out of Rochester Hills, Michigan, redshirt sophomore. Going up against Joe Pace, right-hander from Valley Ridge, California. Timko hits a high fly ball to center field. Jesse Franklin retreats back near the track, but not quite to it, and makes the grab for out number 1. That'll bring up Zachary Owings, the first baseman in the 2-hole, batting from the left side of the plate. Owings probably the best hitter on this Eastern Michigan lineup. Comes in with a .342 batting average to lead the team. Gets on base at a .396 clip. First pitch, he sees some paces high with the fastball. It's 0-1. Or rather, 1-0. Owings also second on the Eastern Michigan roster in home runs and leads him in extra base hits. 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside this time. It's 2-0. First baseman out of Saline, Michigan. Junior steps in there, waggles that bat out right above his left shoulder. 2-0 pitch from Pace. Swung on and missed for strike 1. The count is 2-1. Michigan's defensive lineup for the ball game today, pretty standard with one exception. Across the outfield is Miles Lewis, Jesse Franklin, and Jordan Brewer. On the infield, Blake Nelson, Jack Blomgren on the left side. As a breaking ball misses outside and runs the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. On the right side of the infield is Akeo Thomas and Jimmy Kerr at second and first. Behind the plate today, Casey Buckley getting his second start of his Michigan career. 3-1 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2. Counts run full on Owings. Joe Pace, a fascinating story for the Wolverines, as I said back at the beginning of the broadcast. Former utility man for his first couple of seasons playing in Ann Arbor. This one's fouled back to the screen, and Owings will stay alive. Count remains 3-2. Former utility man was Joe Pace, played some infield, a lot of second base in particular, as well as the corner outfield spots. And this season made the transition to the bullpen, and as the 3-pitch hit high in the air towards left field, slicing near the line. That one's going to get down in fair territory. Miles Lewis grabs it, chucks it in towards second, but it's not going to be in time. Owings is into second with a stand-up double here with 1 out in the first. Nice piece of hitting by Owings there, going the other way for the lefty down that left field line. Looked like that ball might slice a little bit and get out of play, but not being helped by the wind. Wind is blowing just about straight out right now. So anything hit near the line is going to get a little bit of a boost, pushing it into fair territory. Nick Jones, the catcher, now steps in, right-handed hitter. First pitch from Joe Pace, breaking ball, strike one. Jones, the catcher from Battle Creek, Michigan, batting .293 on the season. No home runs, but does have 20 RBIs. Good for fourth in the starting lineup today as he ropes a line drive to left field. Miles Lewis will grab it. Holding at third is Owings. And Eastern Michigan with an early threat here. Runners on first and third, one gone. Not the start you wanted to see if you're Joe Pace and the Michigan Wolverines. You were hoping to get out, get a quick couple innings here out of Joe Pace, get a lead, and cruise the rest of the way with the bullpen. Michigan used a lot of their normal midweek players in yesterday's ball game. Midweek pitchers, that is, starting off with Isaiah Page. Also went with Angelo Smith in that one. Benjamin Kaiser and Jack Weisenberger also saw action. So those arms, probably don't expect to see them today. First pitch from Joe Pace here to Jared Kaufman is high with the fastball. Count is 1-0. Kaufman, the second baseman for Eastern Michigan, bats from the right side. And bats .272 on the season, .357 on base percentage. 1-0 pitch to him, breaking ball just a bit high, counts 2-0 now. Kaufman is a sophomore out of Springboro, Ohio. Made the trip up to Ypsilanti to play at Eastern Michigan in the MAC. Eastern Michigan struggling a little bit in the MAC conference this season. It's a 2-0 pitch, fastball swung on and missed by Kaufman. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Overall this season, coming in with a record of 11-36-1. But in the MAC, they are 6-15 this season. Second from last place in the MAC standings, just above of Toledo. 2-1 pitch, high fastball misses. It's 3-1 now. At the top of the MAC standings this year for Eastern Michigan is everyone's chasing Central Michigan. Currently hold a game lead over Ball State. Meanwhile, in the Big Ten, Michigan leads the way. The Wolverines 35-11 on the season, 14-3 in Big Ten play, and in first place by 2.5 games. 3-1 fastball fouled back to the screen. The count's going to move full. It's 3-2. Their 2.5 game lead currently. The closest team to them, the Indiana Hoosiers, who Michigan will welcome in this upcoming weekend for a critical 3-game series down the stretch. Series that could very well decide the Big Ten regular season champion, as well as crucial seeding for the Big Ten tournament. 3-2 pitch with 1 out, runners going on the play. The breaking ball misses low for ball 4. And the bases are now loaded. Eastern Michigan with a great chance to hop out to an early lead. And that'll send Chris Fetter, the pitching coach for Michigan, out to the mound to have a word with Joe Pace. Really interesting to see how short of a leash Joe Pace has today, given that Michigan did use what would normally be 4 arms in the bullpen in yesterday's ball game. And given that Joe Pace has never been in this situation before coming in to start ball games, he's been used mostly just as a relief pitcher in games that are a little out of hand. Tending to come in during the 9th inning of games, up, say, 8-0 or so. But does have impressive numbers on the year for someone that is working in low leverage situations. Which makes you wonder here. He's never really been in tight spots like this on a regular basis, and he's got himself into one here in the top of the first. Taylor Hopkins, the shortstop, steps up to the left side of the plate. First pitch to him, righty-lefty, misses low and outside for ball one. Hopkins, the freshman out of Mason, Ohio, making his 40th appearance this season, 39th start for the Eagles. As the 1-0 pitch is bounced towards the right side, there's going to be no room for two. Jimmy Kerfield flips to Pace covering first base for the out, but a run comes across the score, and Eastern Michigan has a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first on an RBI ground out by Taylor Hopkins. So a bit of a win-win for each team there. As the 3-1 put out gets the much-needed out for Michigan and puts them in a situation where anything will go here with 1 or 2 gone in the inning and get them out of a jam. And Eastern Michigan, of course, gets that run across, gets the lead. First pitch of this next at-bat to Nate Jones is fouled off to the left side. That'll get fouled on a play near Yost Ice Arena. The count's 0-1. Nate Jones, the center fielder for the Eagles, batting .244 this season. Does have some pop in the bat. 10 extra base hits out of his 38 this season, including a couple of home runs. And 22 RBIs on the year. A chance with a couple runners on second and third right now. He fouls another one off to the left side. That'll get out of play near Yost Ice Arena as well, skipping over the cars before bouncing off the building and then off a hood of a car. The count's going to be 0-2. Jones is susceptible to the strikeout. Struck out in a little over 1 in every 6 at-bats this season, and he gets caught looking there with a breaking ball called strike 3. So Eastern Michigan scores 1 run in the top of the first there on 2 hits. No errors by the Wolverines that inning, but Eastern Michigan does leave 2 in scoring position. Through half inning of play, the score, Eastern Michigan Eagles 1. Michigan Wolverines coming up. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. So something the Wolverines aren't necessarily accustomed to, being down early in ball games. It's very much been their MO to jump out early to a lead, hand it over to their pitching staff to hold down the other team for the rest of the way, while the offense just tacks on more and more and more, especially over this, what is a 12-game winning streak right now. Last 4 games have been not particularly close, scoring 33 runs overall in the series at Maryland in College Park. Only close game in that one was a 10-7 game on Friday night, in which Maryland made a late comeback in that one, put up a few runs against the Wolverine bullpen to make it closer than it probably was for a majority of the ball game. Michigan really pulling away in about the 6th inning of each of those 3 games. 10-7 win on Friday, 10-4 win on Saturday, and a 13-1 win on Sunday. And yesterday's ballgame, a 7-0 win over Eastern Michigan. The offense is scoring plenty of runs, and they send a very similar lineup to the lineup they've been fielding for most of this winning streak. Leading off with Jordan Wogu, the designated hitter. He's stepping to the plate right now. After him, it'll be Jesse Franklin, the center fielder, batting second. And on the 3 spot is Jordan Brewer, the right fielder. Batting 4th is Jimmy Kerr at first base. Blake Nelson's the 3rd baseman, batting 5th. Batting 6th, left fielder Miles Lewis. Jack Blomgren plays short and bats 7th. Casey Buckley, the catcher, bats 8th. And rounding out the lineup is Akeo Thomas in the 9 hole for the Wolverines. First pitch to Jordan Wogu misses low with the fastball, and the count is 1-0. Wolverines going up against Tyler Coons today, the freshman right-hander for Eastern Michigan. Fires a 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Coons making his 11th appearance, 4th start of the season. He's currently 0-1 with a 12.81 ERA. 1-1 pitch on the inside corner with a fastball, strike 2. He's pitched in 19 2/3 innings this year, has Coons. He struck out 10, walked just 4, but batters hit .417 against the freshman. There's a foul ball off to the right side. There's a headhunter. Gets out of play. And the count's going to remain 1-2. Wogu, the scariest leadoff hitter in college baseball, as Michigan likes to say. Another 1-2 pitch is fouled off at the plate, trickles away. Count will remain 1-2. Comes in this ball game batting .350 on the year, including a .483 on base percentage. That leads the Big Ten, as does his OPS on base plus slugging, as the 1-2 pitch bounces in the dirt. Nice stop back there by Jones behind the plate. 2 Joneses on the field for Eastern Michigan today. Both of them right up the middle as a 2-2 pitch is hit high in the air towards deep center field. Going back is the other Jones on the field today. That's Nate Jones making the grab in deep center field for out number 1. So very much like the top of the first started. A deep fly ball starts the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Jesse Franklin, the center fielder. The defensive lineup for Eastern Michigan today looks as follows. Jeff Timko is in left field, the aforementioned Nate Jones in center field, and Shane Esther is in right field. Left side of the infield is Devin Hager at third base and Taylor Hopkins at shortstop. First pitch, Jesse Franklin misses for ball 1. Right side of the infield is Jared Kaufman at second base, Zachary Owings at first base. 1-0 pitch misses outside, and now it's 2-1. Behind the plate, Nick Jones for the right-hander Tyler Coons. 2-0 pitch misses low and away again. The count is 3-0 now on Jesse Franklin, who's really starting to come around with the bat. Had a couple RBIs in yesterday's ballgame, 3 to be exact, on a couple sacrifice flies. Also had a couple of hits, including a long home run. He watches a 3-1 pitch, catch the inside corner for a strike, so it's 3-1. Scored a couple runs in that ball game as well, did Franklin. 3-1 pitch to him, low and in for ball 4. Franklin takes the walk here to get Michigan started in the bottom of the first inning, looking to tie things up if they can, or perhaps do even more with Jordan Brewer stepping up to the plate. Jordan Brewer no longer leading the Big Ten in batting average, dipped down to .357 today with an 0-for-5 day yesterday, despite him reaching base a couple times on fielder's choices. First pitch to him is washed on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. He is, however, catching up in the Big Ten race in a couple of different categories. As the 0-1 pitch to him hit high and deep on the right field line. This one's hooking near the line. That's going to get foul and out of play. Counts 0-2 on the big right-hander for Michigan. Specifically for Brewer, in the race for RBI leader, just one behind Matt Lloyd of Indiana, who we'll see this weekend in Ann Arbor. 0-2 pitch, foul off at the plate, back behind the plate now. Count remains 0-2. Meanwhile, didn't get a chance to note, but that was Jesse Franklin's 37th walk of the season, which leads the Big Ten. Very patient eye gets him on base and gets things started for the Wolverines. And a pickoff throw over to first base keeps Franklin sit close. He dives back in safely. Jordan Brewer does lead the Big Ten in slugging percentage, though, so even though he has dipped down a bit in the average to third, he ropes one down the third baseline, fair into left field corner. Franklin round second. He's headed towards third. Nick Schnabel is going to hold him at third base as Jordan Brewer motors into second on his own for a double here in the bottom of the first to put 2 runners in scoring position for the Wolverines. That'll be Jimmy Kerr stepping to the plate with a chance to, at the very least, tie the ball game, if not take the lead. There was some action in the Michigan bullpen briefly after Joe Pace got in a little bit of trouble earlier on in the top of the first inning. Saw a couple catchers and arms run out there. We're just sitting now on the bench. Wind up here towards Kerr is fouled off to the left side. Count's going to go 0-1. Coons does work out of the windup as opposed to the Michigan starter today, Joe Pace, who went straight out of the stretch at all times. Coons also wearing the stirrups today. Good look as the 0-1 pitch missed outside for a ball. Counts 1-1. High socks and stirrups on a couple of Eastern Michigan Eagles today, it looks like, along with some white stripes on the green socks. 1-1 pitch to Kerr is hit high in the air towards deep right center field. Going back near the track, near the wall is Esther. He looks up and that ball is caught by the center fielder, Nate Jones. Range over making the grab at the wall, but Franklin will score on a long sacrifice fly for Jimmy Kerr. And we're evened up at 1-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Jimmy Kerr really gave that ball a ride. Hit that one extremely high in the air. I thought off the bat it was going to be a lazy fly ball with how high it was hit. It kept going back and back and back and really missed being a home run by probably about 2 feet. Blake Nelson steps up now, runner on third, 2 outs in the inning. He check swings at the first pitch that missed low, and he went around, so that's strike one. Jordan Brewer moved up to third on that play. Makes his possible to score on a wild pitch, which he almost saw right there as Coons spikes one in the dirt, stopped behind the plate by Nick Jones, and kept out in front of him. So the count will move to 1-1, and Brewer will retreat to third base. 1-1 pitch to Blake Nelson, bounces in the dirt. Another nice stop by Nick Jones behind the plate. Count's going to move to 2-1. Nick Jones, the junior from Battle Creek, Michigan, doing a nice job of keeping this ball game tied so far. Blake Nelson hits a high chopper towards third. It'll be fielded by the third baseman, Hager. He makes the throw to first, accurate and in time for out number 3. So Michigan gets a run back. One hit that inning, but the run comes on the sacrifice fly by Kerr. No errors by Eastern Michigan that inning, and 1 left on for the Wolverines. So through 1 inning of play, the score: Eastern Michigan 1, Michigan Wolverines 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Wolverines going for lucky win number 13 in a row here. They're getting hot at the right time. We've seen in years past Michigan baseball fading a bit down the stretch at times. 2 years ago, certainly the case. Back in that 2017 season. Michigan really over the last 3 weeks or so just found themselves not playing their best baseball this season for a variety of reasons. Ended up missing the tournament that year, but last year was a year of encouragement for the Wolverines. Started off a bit slow in non-conference, then got it going as we started off conference play. Struggled a bit at the beginning of conference play as well, but finished the season strong. And a lot of confidence coming into this year for the Wolverine squad, and so far it's paid dividends. After a rough non-conference schedule that tends to be the case for just about every northern team, Michigan no exception, traveling a lot, playing some tough teams on the road. Normally doesn't make your record look too great earlier on in the season, but once the weather started warming up here in Ann Arbor, Michigan playing some home games, getting into Big Ten play, they've really shown why they were hyped up as a Big Ten favorite, if not the Big Ten favorite coming into the season. Shane Esther, the right fielder, steps in against Joe Pace, takes a first pitch high for a ball, counts 1-0. Esther, the sophomore out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, bats from the right side, crouches well down in his stance, and takes another fastball high. Count is 2-0. Esther, one of these Eastern Michigan Eagles, wearing the high socks with the white stripes on them. Eastern Michigan is wearing the gray top, or rather green tops, gray bottoms today. 2-0 fastball right at the belt, strike one. Those gray tops, or rather green tops, have the white numbers on them. As Pace comes set, ready for a 2-1 pitch. Misses high again with the fastball. The count is 3 balls and 1 strike. White numbers on the back, white pinstripes on the sleeves. Across the front, as Pace delivers a 3-1 pitch. Fouls it off to the right side and out of play yet again. So the count's going to go to 3-2. I believe it says Eastern Michigan on the front of those jerseys. Don't have a good look at it. They have the new cursive font for the E on their caps. This one's fouled off near the right side. Jimmy Kerr giving chase near the wall. Does he have room? He runs out of room as that one gets out of play. Count will remain 3-2. Joe Pace looking for a second strikeout of the day, trying to come back from down 3-1 in the count to strike out Esther. Esther doesn't strike out a ton, but watches the 3-2 pitch miss high for ball 4. He's on first base here to lead things off in the second for Eastern Michigan, looking to retake the lead as there's now more action in the Wolverine bullpen. Okay, there's a lefty warming up. Can't quite see who it is. Got the poles in the way down that left field line. But Devin Hager is going to step up to the plate. Right-handed hitting third baseman. Gets the sign from the dugout. Checks the play sheet on his belt. Wouldn't be surprised to see a sacrifice bunt here. Move the runner into scoring position. Given that he's only hitting 186 on the season, is Hager. He does square around here. Fastball misses well high. And the count's 1-0. Esther over at first base. 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts this season, but wouldn't expect to see him getting too aggressive. Kerr is holding him on despite then charging for the bunt. Kerr comes set. 1-0 pitch. Squaring around again and taking a strike on the inside corner with the off speed was Hager, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned Hager, just 186 batting average on the season. Junior out of Commerce Township, Michigan. Is susceptible to the strikeouts. 16 strikeouts and 59 at-bats. Just 3 walks on the season for him. And not a ton of power, just 2 extra base hits, both of them doubles. 1-1 pitch, squared around again and pulled back as that one missed just off the plate away for ball 2. Michigan's got Akeo Thomas, who is shaded a bit up the middle towards double play depth, running all the way over to cover first base on the bunt. Jimmy Kerr and Blake Nelson, both corner spots, sprinting in. Jack Blomgren moving over to cover second base as well. 2-1 pitch, squaring around again and taking another pitch low was Hager, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike on him. We'll see if Eastern Michigan decides to get a little aggressive. Jonathan Roof, the skipper for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, or rather Eric Roof. Jonathan Roof, the assistant coach. 3-1 pitch, bunted down the first base line, but that one's going to get foul. The count's going to eat itself up at 3-2. So Roof not deciding to be aggressive here with a 3-1 count. We'll see now that they force the hand of the Eagles on 3-2. Esther takes his lead off at first base. In a similar situation in the first, Eastern Michigan was sending the runner. A pickoff throw over there, chases him back diving. He's in there safely. On a 3-2 pitch with 1 out in the top of the first, Eastern Michigan sent the runner and ended up not mattering as a walk was taken by Jared Kaufman. They send the runner again here on 3-2, but this doesn't matter as well as the pitch hits Hager in the leg, and he'll take his base. 2 runners on to start the second. Eastern Michigan with another rally perhaps to hop out again against the Wolverines. Eric Bakich on the top step of the dugout. Going to flash some signs into his fielders to know what to do here against potentially another bunt with the 9-hitter John Rensel Jr. coming up to the plate. He is a 9-hitter, is Rensel. He bats 240 on the year, with the on-base percentage all the way up at 387 for the big left-hander. Stands up there 6'4", 230 pounds. Out of Tallmadge, Ohio, the senior awaits the first pitch from Pace. It's a fastball in the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Not squaring around to bunt was Rensel. Looks in the dugout now for another sign and checks the play sheet on his belt. The runners check the play sheets they've got on as well. You can see Esther has his on his left arm as he leads off from second, it looks like. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball or off speed misses high. The count's even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Rensel, a big guy, but does not have a home run on the season. Does have 9 doubles. Has a great eye at the plate. 33 walks, 33 strikeouts. As Pace twists off towards second to look at Easter and chase him back to the bag. Easter get in there standing without a throw. So the count is 1 ball and 1 strike still on Rensel. Pace comes set. Looks back to Esther on second. Now fires 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses low and away. It's 2-1 now. Joe Pace looks like he is losing it just a little bit. Doesn't quite have that strikeout stuff that he's shown in the limited action this season. Was a bit of a gamble by Eric Backish to start him today, given the lack of experience on the mound. He's down the count 2-1 here. Fires a fastball strike on the outside corner to even things up at 2-2. The day is not done for Joe Pace yet. He still has a chance to salvage things here. 2-2 count. With runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the first, or rather than the second inning. Pitcher in the bullpen all ready to go if needed. Pace comes set. 2-2 pitch. Fastball just off the outside corner. Casey Buckley held it an extra beat behind the plate there, but couldn't get the call from home plate umpire Pete Peterson. And the count is full. A little bit of a different situation now with the runner on second, but Eastern Michigan's been aggressive in full counts on the base paths. See if they send both of the runners here. They are not going on the 3-2 pitch. It's a line drive right at Kerr at first base, and he drops the ball. Do they rule it on the exchange, or did he catch the ball? It was ruled on the exchange. Line drive out there by John Rensel Jr. Could have been trouble had it gotten into the corner. 1 run, maybe 2 runs would have came across to score, but Kerr able to hang on long enough before he took a look at first. Wasn't going to be able to run and get there before Hager retreated to the bag. And as he looked towards second and was ready to pull the ball out to uncork a throw, then he dropped it. Ball hit the turf, but indicated an out by Jason Smith over there at first base. So 1 gone, still 2 runners on. We cycle back up to the top of the Eastern Michigan lineup for Jeff Timko. His second time at the plate already in as many innings of this ballgame. First pitch breaking ball, swing and a miss for strike 1. Timko hit a deep fly ball to start things off just shy of the track and straight away center field. That was run down by Jesse Franklin out there. Chance to do some damage here with a couple runners on. Pace looks back at the runner. Now fires an 0-1 pitch that misses low. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike now. Pace stands up there just 5'9", 200 pounds on the mound. A smaller guy, but does bring the heat as the 1-1 breaking ball misses high. Count is 2-1. Does bring a fastball that sits in the low 90s, roughly. Not something you expect out of a utility player turned pitcher. But then it does have a really good 12-6 curve. Those are really his 2 pitches that he throws. Can mix in what looks to be an occasional changeup as well, but still mastering the two primary pitches. The fastball is blown right by Timko, swinging for strike 2. Does have one more year eligibility left here in Ann Arbor, the redshirt junior Joe Pace. See if he develops into a steady and perhaps oft-used arm in the bullpen for Eric Bakich. 2-2 pitch misses low there for ball 3. Buckley popping out of the stance and looking down at first, maybe threatening a back pick against Hager over there. But Kerr playing well off the bag right now. The Michigan infield shaded off towards the left against Timko. K.O. Thomas holding the runner on at second and also just shaded that way in general, even when he pulls off. 3-2 pitch just off the inside corner with the fastball, ball 4. That's going to load the bases here with 1 out in the second. Second straight inning that Eastern Michigan has loaded the bags up. This might be the end of the day for Joe Pace. We'll see what Eric Bakich thinks. The left-hander, Zachary Owings, is coming up to the plate. There's a left-hander ready in the Michigan bullpen, it looked like. Can't see who it is, as Eric Bakich is walking out to the mound now and does call down for the left-hander in the pen. So Joe Pace's day will be done after just an inning and a third worth of work. This line not closed. He is responsible for all 3 runners on base right now. Potentially disastrous day stat line-wise for Joe Pace, but see if his teammates can bail him out a bit. A rough first career start for Joe Pace, but undoubtedly will bounce back at some point whenever he sees the field next. He jogs off to a nice hand from the crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Turns the ball over to Walker Cleveland. Cleveland, another midweek starter normally, a reliever for the Wolverines that Eric Bakich trusts to go a few innings. Perhaps not the person you'd want in a bases loaded no-out situation, but in a bases loaded and 1-out situation, Cleveland definitely in a good situation here as a ground ball pitcher. He comes into this one with a 3-1 record, a 3.92 ERA on the season. He's pitched in 20 2/3 innings thus far. He has struck out 10, walked 9. Batters hit .265 against him with runners on base. Overall against the big lefty for the Wolverines, batters hit just a total of .211 against him. Making his 10th appearance of the season is the freshman. Out of Suwanee, Georgia, stands up there 6'2", 145, a lanky figure. Mentioned comparisons to Chris Sale on the mound before on previous broadcasts. Doesn't quite have the, we'll say, herky-jerky arm motion of Chris Sale, but definitely has the frame. So he's ready to start things here against Zachary Owings. Owings is a big man himself, 6'1", 195. Left-handed hitting first baseman. Comes out bases loaded here in the second. 1 out. First pitch to him from Cleveland. This one is grounded back at the middle off of Cleveland. Blomgren fields bare hand, touches second base, throws to first. In time! Double play! A line drive up the middle, bounced off of Walker Cleveland and trickled to second base. Jack Blomgren fielded with his foot on the bag, barehanded it, made a strong throw to first in time for a 1-6-3 double play. And just like that, Michigan's out of the threat. No run score for Eastern Michigan. Despite no hits in the inning, they do leave the bases loaded. And so headed into the bottom of the second, the score remains tied. It's 1-1 between Eastern Michigan and Michigan here on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball. You're listening to WCBN Sports. And a wacky play there. You see that every once in a while with the ball bouncing off a pitcher and then someone making a play, but rarely does it work out that perfectly as it did for the Wolverines, bouncing straight to that second base bag. I believe Blomgren was shaded a bit near that second base bag, so he might have been able to get over there and field it anyway, given how hard it was hit, but certainly brought him right to the bag, did that deflection. Doesn't normally end up that way. And so Michigan escapes that jam. Eastern Michigan's left 5 runners on base already in the first 2 innings. Something to keep in mind throughout the rest of this ball game. Should it remain close here as it is 1-1. Michigan will send up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the lineup. Lewis, Blomgren, and Casey Buckley. Try to scratch across another run here and retake the lead in the second. Or rather, take the lead for the first time in the second. Miles Lewis steps into the right-handed batter's box against Tyler Coons. Takes a look at his bat there, now taps the plate. And we're ready to start things in the bottom of the second inning. Wind up from Coons and a swing fouled off at the plate by Miles Lewis on the look like a first pitch breaking ball. Counts 0-1. Lewis, the red shirt senior out of Hudson, Wisconsin. Batting .272 this season in his final year in Ann Arbor. Hits a ground ball that's through the left side past the diving Hager for a base hit to left field. Throw goes in towards second base and holds Lewis to a single there, but it is a leadoff single to start things in the second for the Wolverines. That'll bring up Jack Blomgren, another Wisconsin native out of Milton, Wisconsin, the sophomore shortstop. A .297 batting average on the season. Coming off a 2-hit performance yesterday, 2 for 4 ball game, couple singles for him. First pitch to him today is a fastball that misses inside, maybe a bit high as well. Counts 1-0 on him. Blomgren's bat really blossoming in his sophomore campaign in Ann Arbor. Average up to .297 after floating around the Mendoza line for all last year. 1-0 pitch misses inside. Counts now 2-0. On base percentage up over 400 at .405 for the right-handed hitting shortstop. 2-0 pitch is going to have to wait as Coons tosses over to first base and Lewis dives back in safely. Lewis not afraid to go over there. He has had 13 stolen base attempts this season. Successful on 8 of them. 2-0 pitch to Blomgren. Almost a quick pitch there by Coons. He misses inside for ball 3. Coons barely coming set, trying to mix up his times to the plate for sure, but very close to not coming completely set on the mound before firing to Blomgren there. He does come set here for the 3-0 pitch. His fastball just catches the inside corner. Strike 1. Okay, it could have been one of those 3-0 automatic strikes. That one was, looked like it was very close to missing off the plate inside. But Rula did catch the corner. And so now we'll get a 3-1 pitch after another pickoff throw. Just sliding back in safely was Lewis. Caught a little bit flat-footed. He was slow to dive back. A good move by Coons there. But the tag just too slow on the other end by Owings. Had to really swipe across his body. So checking the 1-3 pitch. Lewis going on the play, and the ball misses low for ball 4. So ultimately didn't end up mattering there. Runner goes to second on the walk. Blomgren takes first. And Casey Buckley will step up to the plate. Buckley, the left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower in the catcher spot. Looking for his first hit of the season. He's 0 for 9 thus far. 5 of those strikeouts. Wouldn't be surprised to see him play a little small ball and try to put down a bunt, move a couple runners to scoring position here. Does have the platoon advantage. He does square around and bunts one in front of the plate. That's a good bunt there. It's going to force Coons to come off the mound. He throws to first. Both the runners moving over. Michigan dugout gives him a big hand there. Getting that one down in play for the freshman. So sacrifice bunt. 1-3 on the play.
Second baseman, number 4, K.O. Thomas.
And so K.O. Thomas will come up with a couple runners in scoring position. Thomas, a bit of a down year for the senior out of Chicago, Illinois. Batting just .266, but we mentioned tends to come through in big spots for Michigan this season. See, first pitch of this at-bat misses low in the dirt, stopped back there by Nick Jones. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Coons working out of the windup now with the runner on third. The 1-0 pitch misses low again. It's 2-0. Tight strike zone this far by Pete Peterson behind the plate. Not really given much in terms of expanding low specifically. A lot of times, pitchers will love to work down there and exploit that as ground balls up the middle. Just misses Coons. It's bobbled by the second baseman Kaufman, but he's going to make the play behind the bag and throw to first in time. A run will score. Blomgren moves over to over to third on the play. And Michigan leads 2-1 on the RBI ground out for a K.O. Thomas. We'll cycle back up to the top of the order here with a runner on third and 2 outs in the inning for Jordan Wogu. Wogu 0 for 1 on the day, flew out to deep center field to start the bottom of the first inning and now gets another chance here. First pitch to him is low for a ball, 1-0. Wogu coined the scariest leadoff hitter in college baseball by the Michigan baseball Twitter account at UMichBaseball. Fouls one off to the left side. That gets in the Michigan dugout there. Count even up at 1-1. Led off yesterday's ball game for Michigan with a triple off the top of the wall. Missed his 7th home run of the season by inches. There's a 1-1 pitch, the chopper to the left side. That one's going to stay foul. Looked like it might have been in fair territory there. Hager fielded, but was ruled foul by third base umpire Stephen Linton. And so Wogu will jog back to the plate, and the count will be 1-2 on him. Wogu with a couple of home runs over the weekend in College Park, including a leadoff home run on Sunday. It really set the tone for that drubbing of the Terrapins, 13-1. Looking to provide some early fireworks here, perhaps for the Wolverines, and give them a couple run lead here in the second. Wind up, 1-2 pitch. This one bounces right off his foot. Wogu goes down in pain and hit off his back foot. He eventually gets up and trots down to first base. Looks to be all right, but could hear that one from up here. Didn't sound too pretty. Certainly painful as he's still walking it off a bit over near the first base bag. Going to jog it off a bit as well before Jesse Franklin gets his at-bat underway. Runners on first and third for Franklin. Signs flashed by Nick Jones to his infielders to let them know what they want to do in case of a double steal or Jordan Wogu perhaps trying to get caught in a run down to scratch a run across. I'd be surprised to see that play on here for Michigan with the power and just hitting ability of Jesse Franklin and Jordan Brewer coming up to the plate here, even with 2 outs in the inning. Wogu takes a short lead, and the first pitch to Jesse Franklin outside for a ball, 1-0. Franklin, the lefty center fielder, walked on 5 pitches in his first at-bat. Didn't take the bat off his shoulder at all. Now the 1-0 pitch to him. Still does not take the bat off his shoulders. It misses high and away for ball 2. The Big Ten leader in walks. Certainly a very patient hitter at the plate. More walks than strikeouts on the season. So despite the .248 batting average, his on-base percentage up at .399. He grounds a single through the left side, or right side rather, into right field. And bobbled over there by the right fielder, Esther. Wogu's rounding third. He's going to come home. Jesse Franklin's around second. He'll go to third. 2-run score on the single. Can be a single and most certainly an error by Esther out there to allow the second run to come across the score. And Michigan leads now by a score of 4-1. Certainly a clutch piece of hitting there by Jesse Franklin, but a costly error by Eastern Michigan. Haven't officially put it up on the scoreboard yet, but There's no doubts in exactly how that one is going to be scored. It goes as a RBI single and a two-base error on the right fielder, Esther. So Blomgren's run, an earned run charged to Coons, but Wogu unearned. And Franklin's all the way at third base now. First pitch from Jordan Brewer is hit into left center field. This one's going to be hung up just long enough to catch it, was Timko. So Jordan Brewer gave that one a nice swing, trying to drive in yet another run here at the bottom of the second for Michigan, but nothing going. Fly out to left ends it. Not before Michigan gets those 3 runs on 2 hits. A big error by Eastern Michigan, and 1 man left on for the Wolverines. Through 2 innings of play here, the score, Michigan 4, Eastern Michigan 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. We've got today's ball game. I'm Austin Falco bringing you today's action as well as yesterday, and throughout the weekend I'll be here as well, joined by Alex Shee on a couple of those broadcasts, Friday and Sunday. A big series in Ann Arbor. Almost certainly going to be a good crowd to see the first and second place teams in the Big Ten matching up in a crucial series. And Michigan can finish this one off. They will be absolutely red hot coming into that one, having won 13 straight if you include a potential win in today's ball game. They go up against Indiana, who most recently fell to Kentucky yesterday. A 5-2 score in Lexington. Michigan will travel to Kentucky next week, Tuesday, for a midweek matchup before concluding their season at Nebraska. Couple of big series for Michigan down the stretch here. Oh, you took care of one tough one. Going on the road at Maryland is a tough place to play for Big Ten baseball teams. They played well, won in convincing fashion there, all 3 ball games. See how they hold up against the Big Ten's top teams the next 2 weekends. First pitch here of this inning from Walker Cleveland. Nick Jones is fouled off to the right side out of play. The count is 0-1. Jones, the right-handed hitting catcher, is 1 for 1 on the day. He singled back in the first inning. Put one into left field as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. That ball moving down and in on him. The count now 0-2. Walker Cleveland doesn't have huge velocity on his pitches, but what he does have is good control and good movement. Forces a lot of ground balls there. As the 0-2 pitch is a ground ball right to Blomgren. He moves into the hole a bit at short, makes the throw over to first, and gets Jones over there by half a step for out number 1. Right on cue, talking about Walker Cleveland's ability to get ground balls and soft contact. He gets one right there. We'll try to keep the trend up against Jared Kaufman. Kaufman is 0 for 0 on the day. He walked against Joe Pace in the first inning. Now faces the lefty righty matchup here. First pitch is a fastball strike by Cleveland on the outside corner. Counts 0-1. Cleveland's faced 2 hitters so far, gotten 3 outs on a couple of ground balls. The 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike with the breaking ball. It's 0-2 now. Cleveland chugging along here in the third. You can see the wind blowing his jersey a bit on that slender frame. Comes set at the belt. Now the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses high, well high. Gets back to the screen. Off the glove of Buckley, and count's going to move to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not sure they were crossed up there or what, but Buckley didn't seem to expect the high fastball. Luckily for home plate umpire Pete Peterson, he got a piece of it, so it didn't come square and hit him in the face. Breaking ball on 1-2 misses low and in, and now it's 2-2. So the first 6 pitches were strikes from Cleveland. Now he's done a couple balls in a row. Kaufman will try to work his way on base any way he can. 2-2 pitch. Misses high, ball 3. So just as he did against Joe Pace in the first, Kaufman works the count full. We'll get a payoff pitch here with 1 out in the 3rd. Cleveland works out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. Comes set, 3-2 pitch. This one is chopped towards the right side. It's going to be foul. Kerr went over to field it. Very late swing by Kaufman. Very protective swing. Just kind of stuck his arms out at the last minute. Got it off the end of the bat and pounded it into the turf. So we'll do it again here at 3-2. Cleveland comes set at the belt. Now 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, moving down and in. First strikeout of the day for Walker Cleveland. Second out here in the 3rd. That'll bring up Taylor Hopkins. Michigan today, I mentioned the Eastern Michigan uniforms wearing the green tops with the white lettering and the white numbers with the gray bottoms. Michigan, meanwhile, in those home pinstripe whites. White with with blue pinstripes on the top and bottoms. First pitch here to Hopkins misses well high. Counts 1-0. The block M in blue on the chest. The numbers in blue on the back with the maize piping around both of those. And of course the cap, as always, the blue cap, maize, block M. Second pitch, the at-bat's a fastball. It misses high, just about the same spot as the first one. It's 2-0 now on the left-handed hitting Hopkins. Hopkins grounded out to first base with the bases loaded back in the 1st. Cleveland comes set, 2-0 pitch. Fastball hit in the air towards left field. Jordan Brewer's going back near towards the line now and makes the grab on the run for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 inning put together by Walker Cleveland here in the 3rd. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd with Michigan leading Eastern Michigan by a score of 4-1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Good trivia tidbit today for this matchup of 2 teams right down the road from each other. Michigan and Eastern Michigan first matching up way back in 1867. These 2 programs have seen plenty of each other over the years, especially given the proximity. Not a surprise. The all-time record for Michigan versus Eastern Michigan. They lead the series 123-63 with 2 ties thrown in there. Last time they met was last year, almost to the day, about a week off. May 2nd was the last meeting between these 2 teams. Michigan won 12-5. Last time Eastern Michigan won one of these matchups was 4-2 in April of 2015. Jimmy Kerr takes the first pitch he sees here in the bottom of the 3rd inning and hits a fly ball towards right field. Astro camp under it and make the grab for out number 1. A shallower fly ball than what we saw from Kerr back in the 1st inning when he hit one to the wall. Got a sacrifice fly and an RBI out of it. This time just a fly out as he heads back to the dugout. And Blake Nelson will step up with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First pitch to him misses low for a ball. It's 1-0. Nelson hit a chopper to 3rd in his first at-bat. He watches a 1-0 pitch catch the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. Slightly open stance in the right-handed batter's box for Nelson. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball. It looked like moving down and out of the zone. Comes up empty, and the count is 1-2. Working quickly is Coons. Now gets his sign. He's back on the rubber already. Winds up 1-2 pitch. This one's grounded towards third again. It's fielded by Hager without a problem. Makes the throw to first and plenty of time for out number 2. Couple of ground outs to third thus far for Nelson to his counterpart over there, who's made a couple of plays solidly in Hager. And now Miles Lewis will step in. 2 outs, nobody on. Chance to try to get things started for Michigan here in the third. Lewis is 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored back in that second inning. Takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. That run scored his 37th of the season for the redshirt senior. Takes another pitch low for ball 2. That 37th run of the season puts him, rather maintains him in third place, or rather fourth place in runs scored, if my math is correct there. Third place. I had it right originally. He hits one deep to left field. This one's going back near the check, near the wall. That ball is off the tall brick wall out there. Fielding it is Timko. He throws it in towards second base. Lewis went well past first. They try to get him as he retreats to first base, but he slides back in safely with a long and hard hit 2-out single. An absolute rocket off the bat of Miles Lewis at that wall. Wasn't as high as it was. It would have cleared it easily. Could have moved it back another 20 or 30 feet and lowered the wall, and Miles Lewis would have had himself a home run. As it stands, just a long single off the wall, and Jack Blomgren will step up to the plate. Blomgren fouls one towards the right side. That one's going to get out of play near the parking lot. Counts 0-1 on the shortstop. And for Miles Lewis, hit a home run, a pinch hit home run on Sunday against Maryland for his 4th of the season, but a slightly underwhelming campaign for him, having dropped in the lineup a bit. Originally in the 4 hole for most of the season. He's running here on the 0-1 pitch to Blomgren. Blomgren grounds to third, making the play is Hager, and tosses to first for out number 3. So no runs that inning for Michigan on the 1 hit, that long single for Miles Lewis. No errors for Eastern Michigan, and 1 man left on for the Wolverines. Through 3 innings of play, the score, Michigan 4, Eastern Michigan 1, on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Another nice crowd here for a midweek game. The weather's not quite as nice as it was, say, this past weekend, where temperatures were getting up into the high 60s and 70 degrees, but the sun is still out as it has been the past, few hours or so. Really shining now, just over the right field line, down that right field corner, providing plenty of warmth for fans sitting out here. We still got the jackets on, the sweatshirts on for the most part, but certainly a nice day to come out to the ballpark and watch some baseball. And watch a red-hot Michigan Wolverine team for sure. Walker Cleveland will remain in the game here in the 4th inning of action. He'll face the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots in the Eastern Michigan lineup for the first time for him today. Starting off with Nate Jones, the center fielder. Bats from the left side. So Cleveland has the lefty-lefty advantage over there. Jones so far on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking to end the 1st inning. Was frozen on Joe Pace fastball in the outside corner. Cleveland comes set for the first pitch of this at-bat. And a fastball after squaring around and pulling back was taken outside by Jones. The count is 1-0. Jones, the sophomore out of Battle Creek, stands up there 6'3", 195. He tries to bunt again here, but bunts it fouled on the left field line over near the Michigan dugout. Count's going to even itself up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Michigan doesn't seem too concerned about the threat of the bunt. Blake Nelson playing just about even with the baseline and shaded off the line at third base. Blomgren shaded towards the second base bag up the middle. It's a ground ball right to where K.O. Thomas was standing. He backhand tosses over to first for an easy out number 1 here in the 4th. Walker Cleveland keeping up the ground ball outs. It'll be Shane Esther coming up to the plate here with 1 gone in the 4th. Esther walked in his first plate appearance of the day back in the 2nd inning. We're stranded at third on the double play ball that ended the bases loaded Eastern Michigan threat. First pitch he sees today from Walker Cleveland misses just high for a ball. The count is 1-0. Esther crouches down very low in the right-handed batter's box. He takes a breaking ball strike. Counts it up at 1-1. Thought about swinging there, did Esther. Started to fire the hips through on his swing, and the arms didn't quite follow. He's able to hold it back, but took the strike anyway. This time he grounds one towards the middle. Diving is Jack Blomgren. He makes the play, but can't field the ball. He throws to first late. Blomgren's full extension up the middle on that one. Looked like he broke his belt, or at least it came undone. He's fixing it up now. Full extension on that one. Got the glove on it, knocked it down, but couldn't transition from glove to hand, and had to take an extra stab at the ball after he tried to pick it up off the turf. And by that time, his throw to first was just about a step late. So infield single there from Shane Esther. Puts a runner on with 1 gone in the 4th. That'll bring up Devin Hager. He squares around a bump, but pulls back on a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. Strike 1. Hager was trying to square on a bunt in his first at-bat back in the 2nd, but ended up being hit by a pitch on a full count pitch. Didn't get farther than 2nd, though. The 0-1 pitch to him this time. He fouls it back to the screen, and he's down in the count 0-2 now. Mentioned Hager was batting just 186 on the season. 16 strikeouts in the 59 at-bats this year. Just 3 walks, so definitely someone that likes to swing the bat early. Doesn't take a whole lot of pitches. He's down the count 0-2 here. Cleveland holding for a minute here and tosses a pickoff throw to first base to get Esther diving back in safely. You mentioned he was on first before. Esther 3 for 3 in stolen bases this year. Not a huge threat to run, but certainly fast enough to swipe a base. If Eastern Michigan wants to play small ball and try to scratch out some runs, especially with the backup of the backup, really, Casey Buckley behind the plate. His breaking ball is stopped back there by Buckley very nicely. The count moves to 1-2. Buckley making just his 2nd start of the year. 11th game he's appeared in. Eastern Michigan may want to test his arm a bit. They're not going here as the 1-2 pitch sit high in the air towards left center field. Ranging over is Miles Lewis near the gap. He will make the grab with plenty of room for out number 2. So 2 outs here in the 4th inning. John Rensel Jr., the big lefty, comes up to the plate. And Rensel, when he walks up to the plate, you can just tell just how big of a presence he is up there. It is shocking to see he hasn't gone deep yet this season, has the senior. Left-handed hitter against left-handed pitcher. Stands in there, bat almost behind him when he puts it over his left shoulder. Walker Cleveland chucks a pickoff throw over to first base. I think Eastern Michigan yelling about a balk potentially. Thought he might have made a move a little bit towards home before tossing over. Either way, Esther was back in standing. Now faking going and not going was Esther at first base, and Rensel's going to put one into the gap in left center field. Franklin cuts it off without a hat, tosses in towards second base. It's cut off by Blomgren as Rensel slides in safely with a double, his 10th double of the season. Eastern Michigan has a couple runners in scoring position now with 2 outs in the 4th.
Left fielder number 7, Jeff Timko.
So Rensel after a hard line out in the 2nd. Puts a good stroke on that one into the gap in left center. And sets Eastern Michigan up for a chance to do some 2-out damage. Back up to the top of the lineup for Jeff Timko. Stepping up to the plate for the 3rd time in 4 innings. He's 0 for 1, flew out to deep center and walked thus far today. Both of those came against Joe Pace, the starter. So his first look at Walker Cleveland today is a breaking ball that misses down and in. Check swing, he did go around, says first base umpire Jason Smith. So it counts 0-1. Wasn't originally going to be appealed by Pete Peterson, but Casey Buckley doing a nice job pointing down and getting the appeal. Cleveland comes set now ahead in the count 0-1. The pitch. Another good off-speed pitch moving down and in. The count's now 0-2 on Timko. Timko is susceptible to the strikeout. Striking out just under 25% of his at-bats this season. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. K.O. Thomas makes the play and throws to first in time for out number 3. So no runs that inning for Eastern Michigan on 2 hits. No errors for the Wolverines and 2 runners stranded by the Eagles. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. The score remains Michigan 4, Eastern Michigan 1. On the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball, you're listening to WCBN Sports. We thank you for tuning in today and all season long. As a reminder, we will have the games this weekend here on WCBN Sports against Indiana. Start times for those 8 p.m. on Friday night, followed by 2 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. Times are all Eastern time. Do some nice promotions here at the ballpark if you're in the area. Want to come check out what should be a great series here at the Fish. Friday, they're doing Teacher Appreciation and Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day. You can get special ticket deals for the educators in your life. It's also Alumni Weekend all weekend long for Michigan baseball. Saturday is Arbor Day. So, celebrating things about Ann Arbor throughout the day. Playing music by Ann Arbor artists. Trivia about Ann Arbor. As well as a Michigan baseball tote bag giveaway. And Sunday is Senior Day. Giveaway is Maze Out t-shirts for the first 1,000 fans, as it is a Maze Out on Sunday against Indiana, what should be possibly the biggest game of the season for the Wolverines. Casey Buckley is going to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning and taps one down the right field line foul. Counts 0-1 now on the left-handed hitting catcher, looking for his first hit of the year still. Did lay down a successful sacrifice bunt in the 2nd. That ended up paying dividends. Both those runs came across to score. And he hits one high in the air towards left center field. Going back is the shortstop, and he makes the grab, does Hopkins, running straight back near the center fielder, Jones. Might have found the Bermuda Triangle a little bit out there for Buckley. Was trying to almost be able to put it between Timko, Jones, and Hopkins. But Hopkins made a nice play on the run to field that one for out number 1. So K.O. Thomas will step in, nobody on, 1 out here in the 4th. Thomas 0 for 1 in the ball game. Did drive in an RBI, though, on a ground out in the 2nd. He takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Thomas steps out, now back in. Working quickly is Coons. And he fires a strike in there. It's 0-2. K.O. Thomas thought he was asking for time, waiting for Pete Peterson, but Peterson did not grant it to him. And now Eric Bakich is going to go talk to a K.O. Thomas. Thomas just wanted a little more time to get set before Coons is firing. Coons is working very quickly. Getting right back on the mound, knowing exactly what pitch he wants right away. So as soon as a batter is ready, if Pete Peterson isn't holding Coons up, he is firing the pitch. He did so right there. So after K.O. Thomas rushes back to the dugout just to talk briefly with Eric Bakich, maybe to quell him down a little bit. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, misses low and away. It's now 1-2. Again, still working quickly is Coons. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, misses low and away. Again, K.O. Thomas not chasing a couple of nice pitches from Coons. The count's going to even itself up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Winding up, 2-2 pitch. Ground ball is going to get through the left side for a base hit. K.O. Thomas, despite the arguments earlier on in the at-bat, is able to stay in there and ground one through the left side past a diving shortstop Hopkins. And into left field for the base hit with 1 out here in the 4th. So the runner on first will be there for the top of the Michigan order, Jordan Wogu, stepping up to the plate for the 3rd time today. Extending his on-base streak. He's got on with a hit by pitch in the 2nd. Also flew out back in the 1st, so officially 0 for 1 on the day. Thanks to the hit by pitch, keeping his Big Ten leading on base percentage high. He hits one high in the air towards right field, going back near the track is Esther near the wall now. Does he have any room? And that ball is gone! The scariest leadoff hitter in college baseball does it again. An absolute bomb the other way, so high in the air. Wasn't sure if it was going to have enough distance, but the power of Jordan Wogu comes through with a 2-run shot. Michigan leads 6-1 now. And my goodness, Jordan Wogu just continues to amaze here in his sophomore season in Ann Arbor. The buzz in terms of Big Ten Player of the Year, for anyone on the Michigan roster that's looking like the contender, it's Jordan Brewer. But man, Jordan Wogu is making quite the case for himself. His 7th home run of the season, RBIs number 27 and 28, for a guy getting on base at a clip almost at 500. Just a remarkable sophomore campaign for the local Ann Arbor native. And that home run, not only does it give Michigan a 5-run lead, it's also going to chase Tyler Coons from the ballgame today. We'll get you his replacement in just a moment, but given there's no one on, Coons' line officially done for the day. He pitched in 3 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, only 5 of those runs were earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and gave up that 1 home run. He will concede the pitching duties to Mitchell Sparks, left-hander out of the Eastern Michigan bullpen. Sparks, so far on the season, will make his 21st appearance here. He's 1-3 with a 5.23 ERA. Does have a save on the season as well. Pitched in 32 2/3 innings worth of work. He's struck out 23, walked only 2 batters in this entire season. Very nice there, but batters against Sparks this season hit a batting average of .317, and he does give up some extra base hits, including 4 home runs. Is coming off of a few nice outings is Sparks. In the 3-game series they just played against Western Michigan this past weekend at Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. He came in, had 2 appearances, and pitched 4 2/3 innings of almost perfect baseball, just gave up 1 hit. That was it. Did a great job. Really, last week coming in on a hot streak is Mitchell Sparks, so we'll see if he can shut down this Michigan offense. Really just try to keep Eastern Michigan in the game at this point. He'll face Jesse Franklin as his first task. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses low. The count is 1-0. Franklin 1 for 1 on the day. Single and a walk, and a run scored. Stuff in the stat sheet already is the left-hander for Michigan. 1-0 pitch, fastball high and in, counts 2-0. Franklin had a nice day yesterday, including a big home run to right field. Hit a little bit further than Jordan Brewer's just went. Jordan Brewer's barely clearing the wall. Jesse Franklin hit it over that scoreboard in right field. He hits one high in the air here on the 2-0 pitch. It'll stay on the infield. Hopkins, the shortstop, ranging to the second base bag and makes the play for out number 2 in the inning. That'll bring up Jordan Brewer. Jordan Brewer, so far on the ball game, 1 for 2, had a double down the left field line in the first, and flew out to left field in the second. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball down and in, and counts 1-0. So far, Mitchell Sparks faced 2 batters, tried to start both of them with the big breaking ball. Ended up getting Franklin to pop out, but was down the count 2-0 there. And he's going to be down the count 2-0 here as he spikes one way in front of the plate. The count's going to go to 2-0 on Jordan Brewer. A dangerous situation against a dangerous hitter. Big Ten leader in slugging percentage. Although Jordan Wogu's giving him a run for his money. 3-0 pitch bounces well in front of the plate again. And now it's 3-0. Leaning over, getting the sign, working out the stretches, Sparks. Now 3-0 pitch. Fastball misses low, ball 4. 4-pitch walk there for Jordan Brewer. And he'll turn things over to Jimmy Kerr, which is a better matchup for Sparks, the lefty-lefty matchup. Especially given that if there's been a weakness in Jimmy Kerr's game this year, it has been against lefties with really good breaking balls. He is susceptible pulling off those breaking balls sometimes. Still very capable of sending a fastball a long, long way, or a mistake by Sparks a long, long way of any pitch, as we've seen multiple times this season as well. First pitch to him is a breaking ball, misses away for ball 1. Jordan Brewer dancing around out there at first base. Leads the team in stolen bases, 17 on the year, second in the Big Ten. If he can swipe one, he'd tie for the lead. And he's going here on 1-0. Pitches a strike on the outside corner, throws going to be well wide, so Jordan Brewer will take third as well. 18 stolen base of the year, gets Brewer to second. And on the error there on the catcher, that'll go on Nick Jones for a wild throw that went almost into left center field. Puts Jordan Brewer just 90 feet away from scoring. Jimmy Kerr in a 1-1 count now. Scoreboard shows 2-0, but it was indicated as a strike by Pete Peterson. Fixed now, and there's a line drive towards the second baseman. He bobbles it for a second, does Kaufman, and throws to first just in time to get Kerr by half a step. If it was anywhere else on the diamond, that little bobble would have cost him, but given that it was at the second base position, Kaufman was able to recover and toss to first to get out number 3 and get Eastern Michigan out of the 4th inning without any more damage. But Michigan scores 2 more runs on 2 hits. The big blow, the 2-run home run from Jordan Wogu. And they lead Eastern Michigan by a score of 6-1, headed to the 5th inning of action. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. We are the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball. Walker Cleveland still on the mound for the Wolverines going into the 5th inning here. He came in the second, got 1 pitch double play ball, and pitched the entirety of the 3rd and 4th innings. This Eastern Michigan lineup stranding a lot of runners here early on in this ball game. Overall, if you're looking at runners left on base, 6 throughout the first 4 innings for Eastern Michigan. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth.
For Eastern Michigan, the first baseman, number 24, Zachary Owens.
It really almost could have been an extra one if the double play ball in the second didn't count as erasing that runner. Zachary Owens, the one who hit into the double play ball, the first batter Walker Cleveland faced back in the second inning, takes a breaking ball low and in, or rather low and away for ball one. Owens 1 for 2 with that double play ball and a double back in the first inning of things. He put one down the left field line. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Big swing and a miss there by Owens. Pulled way off it, went down to a knee. Was trying to hit home run number 5 on the season. Owens, really good all-around hitter for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. He grounds one, snagged by Walker Cleveland at the mound. He throws over to first base in time for out number 1. Just an instinct play there by Walker Cleveland. Stuck out the glove, used all of that frame of his, the 6'2" frame, stretched out that glove hand. It was going to go right to the shortstop Blomgren anyway, it looked like, but Cleveland figured he could do it himself, and he did. Snagged it, tossed to first, out number 1. That'll bring up Nick Jones, the catcher. Jones is 1 for 2 on the ball game. Single and a ground out thus far. First pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Michigan shaded a bit towards the left side. Akela Thomas going towards the second base bag from what would be the normal second base position. And Jimmy Kerr playing well off the line at first base. Jesse Franklin in center is shaded off near the right center field gap, though. As the 0-1 pitch missed just outside for the ball, it's 1-1. Working quickly, 1-1 pitch from Cleveland. Fastball fouled off of the foot there of Jones. And he needs a second to walk that one off. Count's going to be 1-2 once he's ready. And even there, ahead of Walker Cleveland's fastball. So he doesn't have the best velocity, does Walker Cleveland, but locates well and switches up his pitches well. Especially when he has that big breaking ball working like it appears to be working earlier on today. That fastball is just made more effective even without the high velocity. 1-2 pitch. Bearing down and in on him. Jones fouls it off to the Michigan dugout. Count's going to remain 1-2. Cleveland coming set at the belt. He puts his hands up near his face then and delivers a 1-2 fastball. It misses high and away. Count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch on the way to Jones. This one's ground ball towards third. Backhanding over there is Blake Nelson. He throws to first and a scoop on the other end by Jimmy Kerr for out number 2. Nice play on both ends of that one. Blake Nelson, not a hard play, but a nice play nonetheless.
Second baseman, number 15.
Just had about a 2-hopper there that he had to move a little bit to his right, made the play on the backhand, and then a strong enough throw where Jimmy Kerr could field that short hop easily and retire Nick Jones. A couple of ground outs here to start the 5th, and Jared Kaufman will step up to the plate. Kaufman, the second baseman today, is 0 for 1, walk and a strikeout on the day. The only strikeout victim thus far for Walker Cleveland. He grounds one towards third, but that one's going to be foul. The count's 0-1. Has put together 2 full count at-bats, though, has Jared Kaufman. Despite not having many walks on the season, doesn't strike out much either. Certainly someone that likes to put the ball in play earlier on in counts, and if not, he's not afraid to work them deep. As the 0-1 pitch misses high for a ball, it's 2, or rather 1-1. Kaufman's hits this 1-1 pitch into center field. He's going to bounce in front of Franklin for a line drive base hit here with 2 gone in the 5th inning. So Eastern Michigan with another runner on. Only time they haven't had a runner on was the 3rd inning. Done a good job at least starting rallies against these Michigan pitchers. They haven't finished them, though. Sitting with just 1 run on the scoreboard, that one coming all the way back in the first inning of this one. That'll bring up Taylor Hopkins, the lefty. Shortstop for Eastern Michigan. He hits a line drive that's going to be a hopper towards Jack Blomgren at short, just behind the second base bag. He fields, throws to first base in time for out number 3. 3 groundouts there in that inning for Walker Cleveland. Eastern Michigan gets 1 hit, but does not score. We're halfway home here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score, Michigan 6, Eastern Michigan 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball. You're listening to WCBN Sports. We do have some other action from Big Ten teams today. None of them in official Big Ten League action. But up in East Lansing, Valparaiso trails Michigan State by a score of 5-3. Down in Columbus, Wright State leads Ohio State by a score of 2-1 there in the 4th inning of that one. That Valparaiso-Michigan State game in the 7th there. Meanwhile, in Happy Valley, Penn State leads Towson by a score of 1-0. They're just in the 2nd inning of that one as well. Minnesota canceled their game with Omaha due to weather conditions up in Minneapolis. But they were able to get a game in yesterday against South Dakota State, in which they won 5-0. Other action yesterday, Purdue beat Ball State 9-3. Rutgers fell to Villanova 4-3. We mentioned the Indiana-Kentucky game. Kentucky winning 5-2. And of course, Michigan beating Michigan State 7-0. Blake Nelson leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He hits a ground ball to short, going up the middle, making the play, and throwing to first. Wild, not on line. So Nelson will beat it out over at first base. Owings tried to field, tried to tag then, but couldn't get back to the bag in time. We'll see how that one's scored. It is ruled a single for Blake Nelson. A little bit of home cooking perhaps there, but a leadoff single here in the 5th. They'll bring up Miles Lewis. Lewis hitting from the right side against the left-handed throwing Sparks. Fastball misses outside. Lewis squared on a bunt but pulled back. The count's 1-0 now. Lewis is 2 for 2 today with a couple singles. Came around to score on his first one back in the 2nd. Sparks comes set, now throws a pick-off throw to first base, keeping Nelson close. He retreats back to the bag. Nelson is a threat to steal at first base. 11 of 11 on stolen base attempts this season. Not going here as the 1-0 fastball is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Nelson swiped a bag in yesterday's ball game to keep him perfect on the year. 3rd on the team overall in Wolverine stolen bases. Not going again here. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball misses outside. It's 2-1. Not going as Nelson, but he's also not retreating the bag like you see a lot of people do against lefties. Not being fooled by Sparks' delivery to the plate at all. Sparks does have a little bit of an awkward stance before he throws. 2-1 pitch is a fastball that catches the knees on the outside corner. The count is 2-2. Miles Lewis not agreeing with that one, bending back a little bit in that right-handed batter's box. Flashing a little look to Pete Peterson. But it's 2-2. Coming set is Sparks. Now he steps off as Nelson gave a little fake towards second base, right while Sparks was looking at him. We'll see if he comes to the plate here with the 2-2 pitch. Nelson going on the play. Breaking ball is fouled off by Lewis. I'd say it was a half swing, but it wasn't really even a half swing. More like a quarter swing there. Ball bounced off of Lewis's bat and fouled over near the Eastern Michigan dugout on the right side. So Nelson will retreat to first. And we'll try another 2-2 pitch. Nelson probably had that base swiped if Lewis didn't have to swing at that 2-2 offering. And a pickoff throw is going to keep Nelson back near the bag again. Really keeping an eye on Nelson now is Sparks. So this Wolverine lineup and Wolverine base runners do to you. They're very aggressive on the base paths. Have been ever since Eric Bakich has been in charge. And this one is a line drive into left field. That one's going to get near the corner. Going to third is Nelson. Going to second is Lewis. He's got himself 4 total bases today with his 3rd hit of the ball game. That's a double that puts 2 runners in scoring position. Nobody out here in the 5th for Michigan.
Shortstop, number 2, Jack Blomgren.
So Jack Blomgren comes up with an RBI chance here in the 5th. Trying to stretch out Michigan's 5-run lead at the moment. The score 6-1 after a 2-run homer put the cherry on top last inning. Michigan would let the break this one open early. First pitch to Blomgren, off-speed swing and a foul tip for strike 1. Blomgren's 0 for 1 of the day officially. Grounded out in the 3rd, but did walk and score in the 2nd. That run scored for him his 25th of the year. That walk his 23rd of the year. 0-1 pitch to him this time is just off the outside corner with the fastball. Count's going to move to 1 ball, 1 strike. Blomgren, one of 2 Wolverines to start every single game this season, along with Jimmy Kerr. Ready for a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball high. And the count's going to move to 1-2. Blomgren adjusts his batting gloves now that he's down in the count. And gearing up against Mitchell Sparks, who's not huge on strikeouts, but does have some strikeout stuff in him. Hasn't gotten one yet here today through the first 5 batters. He comes that 1-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner, maybe a bit low as well. Tried to go with, looked like a changeup. The count's going to even itself up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. After Blomgren, barring a triple play, it'll be Casey Buckley. Still searching for his first hit over in the on-deck circle. 2-2 pitch to Blomgren. Hit in the air towards right center field. Ranging over is Jones. He makes the grab. Both runners are tagging, and both runners will advance, including Nelson coming across to score on a sacrifice fly by Jack Blomgren. He picks up RBI number 32 on the year for the sophomore shortstop. And it will now be a runner on third. 1 out in the inning for Casey Buckley. So even if Buckley doesn't necessarily record his first hit here, he does have a chance to drive in his first run of his career. With the runner just 90 feet away, he can put one in the air, just as Blomgren did, and get it run home. Freshman catcher out of Long Beach, California, steps in the left-handed batter's box, takes the first pitch, breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Buckley's 0 for 1 today. Sacrifice bunt and a pop out in his first 2 tries at the plate. Officially 0 for 10 thus far in his freshman campaign. He has another pop-up here. Going out near center field is the shortstop Hopkins, the second baseman Kaufman. It'll be Kaufman ranging over near the shortstop side of the bag and just into what would be the outfield grass, if it weren't for the turf here at Ray Fisher Stadium, to make the grab for out number 2. Now K.O. Thomas will get a shot with 2 outs and a runner on third here in the 5th. Thomas is 1 for 2 in the ball game. RBI ground out in the 2nd. He singled last inning in the 4th and was promptly driven in immediately on the Jordan Brewer 2-run homer in the very next pitch. First pitch of this at-bat misses low for a ball, 1-0. Thomas had that issue with calling time in his last at-bat. That was against the starter Coons, though. Sparks is working quickly, but not nearly as quickly as Coons was. Tries a breaking ball here that stays outside. The count moves to 2 balls, no strikes. Thomas, the diminutive second baseman for Michigan, 5'9", out of Chicago, Illinois. 2-0 pitch to him, fastball for a strike. It's 2-1. Meanwhile, out there on the mound, Mitchell Sparks is 6'2", the senior out of Willis, Texas. Bit of the height difference here. 2-1 pitch, fastball outside. Count is 3-1. Nice thing about baseball is the size doesn't necessarily always matter. Nice to have size, but if you know how to use what you got, you can be successful here. So 3-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 3-2. I mean, you won't see many guys have a favorable matchup when it comes to, say, basketball, 5'9" versus 6'2", but here in baseball, K.O. Thomas's ability with the bat makes it an even, if not advantageous situation for him, although he swings and misses at strike 3 here in the 5th. Might have jinxed him a bit there. My bad. So we head to the 6th inning now. Michigan scores 1 run on 2 hits there in the bottom of the 5th to extend their lead to 7-1. Kicking the extra point here. Seems like Michigan does that a lot this season. I'll never get tired of saying it. Every time that Michigan offense puts up a crooked number like this 7 they have on the scoreboard now. Blake Beers now coming into the ballgame for the Wolverines. Beers did not appear in yesterday's ballgame, as does any of the pitchers that we've seen today. He's making his 11th appearance of the season. He started a couple games in there. He's 0-1 with a 7.90 ERA. Pitched in 13 2/3 innings, struck out 6 but walked 7. And opponents hit .327 against the right-hander, including 7 extra base hits. 2 of those are home runs. Beers, the right-handed throwing sophomore out of Manhattan Beach, California. Big guy, 6'4", 215 on the mound. An intimidating presence. Does have some heat behind his fastball, as do a lot of the Wolverine bullpen arms. Just a matter of being able to control their stuff on any given day. That has certainly been Blake Beers' Achilles heel this season. In really his first season getting legitimate work with the Wolverines. He gets the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots in the Eastern Michigan order when we start things off. So perhaps a bit of an easier way to start things off for him. We'd like to see him at the very least get some confidence, as Michigan's going to need arms when it comes time for the Big Ten tournament. They're locked into the Big Ten tournament at this point, barring some absolute miracle of a circumstance. It seems to be all but a done deal. And they're looking at the 1 seed at the moment with a 2.5 game lead in the Big Ten. If they can hang on over the next couple weekends, they'll win that Big Ten title and be the 1 seed going to Omaha. Nate Jones steps in for the first time against Blake Beers and takes a fastball that misses low. Count is 1-0. Jones batted 3 times now against 3 different pitchers. His first 2 times were a strikeout looking and a ground out, as the 1-0 pitch misses outside with the fastball. 2-0. The strikeout against the starter, Joe Pace. The ground out against Walker Cleveland. Here against Blake Beers, winding up. 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses high. Now it's 3-0. And there's those control issues that seem to be Beers' Achilles heel. Has the stuff, but occasionally just loses command of it. Gets his signed 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball called, strike right at the belt. That's a good pitch to get Beers back on track, perhaps. Just fire one in there. Nate Jones taking all the way at the plate. A 3-1 pitch on the way now. This one is chopped near the middle. It'll be Akeo Thomas ranging over near the second base bag. Makes the throw on the run and got him at first base. That ball bounced so high in the air off the turf, it looked like they might not have a play on it, neither Akeo Thomas or Jack Blomberg, but Thomas made the play on the second base side of the bag and threw it over on the run from just about 3 feet away from the second base bag. And got it in time to retire Nate Jones, the speedy center fielder. That'll bring up Shane Esther now. Esther, the right fielder, will step up to the plate eventually. Right now, a brief visit out to the first base umpire by Eric Roof. Has had qualms today with the umpiring over at first base. Once at first, once at second specifically. A double play ball that Jack Blomgren barehanded to kept his foot barely on the bag back in the second. He went out to talk to second base umpire Marty Ernest. This time talking with Jason Smith at first base. But an argument that Eric Roof is not going to win. He retreats back to the dugout, and Shane Esther steps in, takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Esther's been on base twice today, walk in the second, single in the fourth. Just like the man before him, Nate Jones, facing 3 different pitchers in his 3 different trips to the plate. He takes the pitch low for a ball. It's 1-1 now. Beers looks for a sign with a glove up near his face. Now fires a 1-1 breaking ball in there for a strike on the outside corner. Now it's 1-2. Esther in what would be his 100th at-bat of the season. Should this end as an at-bat, not as a plate appearance. 1-2 pitch skips away from the catcher Buckley. And that one's going to run to 2-2 after that breaking ball missed low and away. Esther crouching down that right-handed batter's box. 2-2 pitch misses inside as he twists out of the way a little bit. The count's going to run to 3-2. Probably a closer pitch than it seemed originally, but on that play, Buckley was set up on the outside corner, had to reach back near the inside corner to make that grab. Now 3-2 pitch. Call! Strike 3. Froze him there with looked like a fastball. Esther's going to walk back to the dugout. Blake Beers picks up his first strike out of the day, and there's 2 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. Devin Hager will step up to the plate. Been on base with a hit by pitch back in the second, but then flew out to left field in the 4th. First pitch he sees from Beers is fouled off down the right field line. And that'll get up and out of play into the parking lot. Count is 0-1. Good crowd on hand here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Another good crowd for a midweek action, as I said earlier on. Sun is out, always helps. 0-1 pitch is grounded towards short. Blomgren rounds the ball, throws on the run, and plenty of time to Kerr for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning recorded there by Beers. He comes into the game and does exactly what he needs to do. So we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Michigan still leads Eastern Michigan by a score of 7-1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Austin Falcon, bringing you all of today's action. And make sure to keep up with our broadcast schedules for the Big Ten softball tournament this weekend, as well as baseball this weekend against Indiana, the big series here at Ray Fisher Stadium, by following us on Twitter at WCBN Sports, subscribing to the YouTube channels WCBN Sports and WCBN Sports 2, and make sure to check out the website as well, WCBNsports.org, where you can find not only the most recent broadcasts, but also blogs and podcasts on there as well. Got a new pitcher in the ball game for Eastern Michigan now. After Mitchell Sparks is done for the day. Sparks' line on the day Pitched a total of 1 2/3 innings of action. Gave up 2 hits, 1 run, it was earned. Walked 1 and struck out 1. Did not give up a home run on the day either. So he will turn the ball over now to Holden Cook. Cook, the right-handed throwing sophomore out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Another big right-hander, 6'5", 227. Stands Cook on the mound. So far this season, the numbers on Cook are as follows. He's appeared in 16 games, started 7 of them. He's 1-5 with a 7.28 ERA. Also has a save in there as well in the 31 innings, I'm sorry, in the 47 innings worth of work this season. He struck out 40, but walked 30 to go along with it. Batters hit .325 against him, including a good amount of extra base hits there as well. Scoreboard update, but by the way, in Columbus, Ohio State has tied up the game with Wright State in the bottom of the 4th inning. Not necessarily of any importance to Michigan, but certainly doesn't hurt if Ohio State, per se, takes a couple more wins here down the stretch, given that Michigan did drop a couple games to them earlier on in Columbus this season. In fact, the 2 games just prior to what is now a 12-game win streak were dropped to Ohio State. First 2 pitches of the at-bat to Jordan Wogu to start things off here in the 6th are taken both for strikes. The count is 0-2. Working exclusively out of the stretch is Cook. He comes set right at the stomach, 0-2 pitch. Called, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, says Holden Cook. And Jordan Wogu with the rare strikeout looking here to start the 6th inning. I'll turn things over to Jesse Franklin to see if he can get anything started. Tack on a few more insurance runs for Michigan here in the 6th. Jesse walking up to Jimi Hendrix as always. Goes to the left-handed batter's box, faces the right-hander Cook. First pitch of the at-bat. Fastball off the outside corner for a ball, 1-0. Franklin at the plate for the 4th time today. He's got a walk, a single, and a pop-out on his mark thus far. 0-1 pitch is popped towards the left side, ranging over into foul territory is Hager near the wall. Does he have room? He does have room. He makes the grab for out number 2, rather. Couple quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th for Cook. And now he's got to face Jordan Brewer. Luckily for him, that's with nobody on base. Brewer so far today on base twice, double and a walk. Also flew out in between those 2. First pitch to him is a breaking ball, misses low. The count's 1-0. Brewer, after walking in the 4th, stole the base that ties him for the Big Ten lead. He hits a line drive towards left field that's sinking, but it's going to get down in front of Timko. Timko looked like he was under the ball for a second, then laid up and let it bounce in front of him. So that'll be a second hit of the day for Jordan Brewer. And he's on base with 2 outs here in the 6th. Jimmy Kerr will take his strides up to the plate now. One of just a couple Wolverines to not reach base at all in the ballgame today yet. Kerr and Casey Buckley, the only starters not to do so. First pitch to Kerr is a fastball outside for ball 1. Kerr, however, did drive in a run on a sacrifice fly back in the 1st to tie up the ballgame. And Buckley, to his credit, had a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd when he was up, so both of them at least making productive outs at some point in there. Jordan Brewer dives back in after a pickoff throw over there. Brewer now on the season, 18 for 22 in stolen base attempts. Just keeps racking them up. I'll go for the Big Ten lead perhaps if he tries to swipe one here. 1-0 pitch misses outside. It's ball 2. Cook with a couple fastballs here. And definitely paying attention to Brewer. Maybe paying a little bit too much attention, firing those fastballs just a little bit wild. He comes set, looks over. Brewer not going here. It's a 2-0 pitch. The breaking ball that misses low and in for ball 3. 3-0 the count now on Kerr. Not normally when you'd expect to see a runner in motion. As Brewers lead a little bit shorter now. Does hop off first. Good secondary as Kerr fouls one right off the press box here. And that'll be strike number 1. It's 3-1 count. And right near the press box, I've said this at times this season, my one goal is to catch a foul ball in that press box over there. One day I'm not in over there. Bounces right off the top of the press box. Anyways, 3-1 pitch. Misses high to Jimmy Kerr. Jordan Brewer was running on the play, but doesn't matter ultimately. So we have a couple runners on base here. In the bottom of the 6th for Blake Nelson. Nelson so far on the day, 1 for 3, single and 2 groundouts to third base on the season. Eastern Michigan now getting some action in the bullpen. Eric Bakich talking to Blake Nelson here. Not sure if there's any sort of play you can put on with 2 outs, but might be giving Brewer a chance to steal earlier on in the at-bat perhaps, or just a scouting report on what Cook's tending to bring. Righty to righty. Cook looks in for the sign. Now comes set. Looks back at Brewer at second. Now looks again. The first pitch to Nelson. Breaking ball just off the outside corner. It's 1-0. Nelson is up in some Big Ten leaderboards as well. Take a look at the batting average department. He's sitting there in a cool 6th behind his teammates Wogu and Brewer coming into today's ballgame. 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1's the count now. Doesn't have the same power that the 2 guys ahead of him on that batting average list for Michigan bring. Just 1 home run on the season, but does have plenty of power to the gaps. 14 doubles out of his 47 hits. Just hits the ball hard and finds holes, does Nelson. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, misses low and in. Counts 2-1 now. Also possesses a good eye and does not strike out much at all. Just 27 strikeouts out of 138 at-bats for Nelson this season. Well, he doesn't work a ton of walks. Or doesn't work the count a ton, that is. He hits one high and deep towards center field. Ranging a little bit in towards right center now is Jones. He'll make the grab with room for out number 3. So Michigan does not score that inning despite the 1 hit. They leave 2 runners on, and we'll head to the 7th to score. Still Michigan 7, Eastern Michigan 1. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Blake Beers after a 1-2-3 inning. Looks like he's back out there again for the 7th. 9, 1, and 2 slated to come up in the Eastern Michigan lineup. Bit of a tougher challenge for Beers. As that 6, 7, and 8 spot, really the 5th through 8 spots in this Eastern Michigan lineup are the softer spots. John Rensel, despite batting in the 9 hole, a very solid hitter, the senior left-hander DH. Almost a second leadoff hitter with his .388 on base percentage. He's got a big frame, able to put the ball into the gap as he did in his last at-bat. Not a ton of home run power from Rensel, none yet on this season. And looking back over his career, he has just 4 home runs overall in his 4 years at Eastern Michigan. 1 home run as a freshman in 67 at-bats, 1 as a sophomore in 57 at-bats. Out of 124 last season, he had 2 home runs and doesn't have one at all this season yet. through 100 and now 48 at-bats. So righty to lefty now. Beers to Rensel. First pitch, breaking ball, strike. It's 0-1. Beers looking very composed on the mound. Works from the third base side of the rubber. 0-1 pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Rensel thought about swinging, but thought too late, and check swing didn't really matter. Beers right back on the mound immediately, ready for a sign. He gets it. 0-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball just inside. Ball 1. I also have been very impressed by Casey Buckley behind the plate today. Looks very composed behind the plate, catching just about everything. Seems to be framing pitches well. It's a 1-2 pitch. Swinging and a miss on a breaking ball. Moving down and in, and right there, Casey Buckley catching that one before it hit the dirt. Second strikeout of the day for Blake Beers. First out here in the 7th. That'll bring up Jeff Timko. Timko on the day, 0 for 2, fly out and a ground out, but did have a walk sandwiched in between those two. He was quickly erased on double play ball the very next pitch after his walk, though. Wind up from Beers, righty to righty. Fastball misses high and skips back to the screen. Counts 1-0. When Beers has missed today, he's missed by a lot, but when he hasn't missed, he's been just about spot on exactly where Casey Buckley puts the glove. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball just inside for ball 2. Right on cue, misses his spot by maybe just a couple inches there. Almost had the front door breaking ball, but couldn't quite get it back to the plate. And now the 2-0 pitch is a fastball that's just pounded in there for strike 1. It's almost like the Eastern Michigan hitters can go up looking fastball on 2-0, and Beers just seems to fire one so fast they don't even bother swinging. 2-1 pitch, another fastball that Timko just watches pass right into the strike zone. The count's 2-2 now. See if Beers decides to go right back to that fastball. It's worked twice if he goes to the breaking ball. 2-2 pitch. There's the breaking ball. It's grounded through the left side past the diving Nelson into left field. Timko rounds first, but he'll stay there. The throw comes in towards the second base bag. 1 out single. Runner on first now for Zachary Owings.
First baseman Zachary Owings.
Owings, the best hitter in this Eastern Michigan lineup. The junior out of Saline, Michigan, steps up to the left side of the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the ball game today. Double, and then grounded into a double play, and grounded back to the pitcher. It's a nice snag by Walker Cleveland on the ladder. His first pitch is fouled off to the left side. That'll get up and out of play. And the count's going to go to 0-1. Ground ball here would be perfect for Beers. Michigan shading towards the right side. Nelson well off the bag at third. Blomgren nearly behind second base. Thomas around double play depth at second. It's the ground ball towards the pitcher. Blake Beers going to have to barehand it near the third base side. He throws to first, not in time. It's just a matter of that ball being hit too softly to make a play on it. There's an infield signal to put 2 runners on here in the 7th for Eastern Michigan. Now the Eagles will send Nick Jones to the plate. Jones, the catcher, hits from the right side. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Single and 2 ground outs thus far. 1 to short, 1 to third. His single back in the first inning was over to left field as well. It's definitely a pull hitter when he's hitting the ball towards the infield. And Michigan adjusts accordingly, with Akeo Thomas now being the one playing right near the second base bag, and Jack Blomgren playing in a bit of a deeper double play depth, or a double play depth that's a little bit more towards the third base side. Blake Nelson moves over, not quite hugging the line, but much closer than he just was against Zachary Owings. First pitch, the at-bat here to Jones, fouled straight back to the screen. The count's 0-1. this at bat. Maybe the biggest you can get in a 7-1 ball game right now here in the 7th inning. If Michigan can get an out here and get deeper into this order where the lineup's a little bit weaker, would be a big step towards finishing this ball game out. As the breaking ball misses low and away, Buckley slides and backhands that one to keep it in front of him. And the count's 1-1. Meanwhile, if Eastern Michigan can string together a couple more hits, they might make this game a little more interesting going forward. At this point, when you're down 6 runs, you're just trying to keep it interesting till you get later in the ball game, and this breaking ball gets away from Buckley behind the plate and over near the Eastern Michigan dugout, so both runners will move up on the play. Should probably go down as a wild pitch there. We'll see how it's officially scored, but the count's going to be 2-1 now on Nick Jones, and he's got a chance for a couple RBIs. Jones has 20 RBIs on the season, 4th out of these Eastern Michigan hitters in the lineup today. As the 2-1 pitch from Beers. Breaking ball bounces in the dirt. Buckley keeps his one in front of him, and the count goes to 3-1. Officially ruled a wild pitch there by Beers. And there's some action in the Michigan bullpen now. It looks like just a little bit. Catcher up, stirring around. I believe someone was warming up a little bit earlier, but no one currently throwing. 3-1 pitch. Fastball, strike 2. Nick Jones content to watch Beers groove that 3-1 fastball around the outside part of the plate. Now ready for the payoff pitch with 1 out. Here it comes. Misses low, ball 4. So Nick Jones works the walk, gets on base for the 2nd time today, and he loads the bases up now for Jared Kaufman.
Second baseman, Jared Kaufman.
Kaufman, the right-handed hitting 2nd baseman for Eastern Michigan. Takes his time striding up to the plate. And he's got a little more time before he starts his at-bat. His pitching coach Chris Fetter is going to make the slow walk out to the mound. Casey Buckley will join him out there from behind the plate. Have a talk with his pitcher Beers. After retiring the first 4 hitters Beers faced in this ballgame, he's given up single, single, and walk here with 1 out in the 7th. The second of the 2 singles, a soft hit infield single that he wasn't able to field and get to first in time. But regardless, it was still a runner on base surrendered, even if it was an unfortunate circumstance, and perhaps bled into the walk that came the pitch after the batter afterwards. Went down the count 3-1 and couldn't come back. And now Jared Kaufman a chance with the bases loaded as Fetter retreats to the dugout. First pitch to him, misses low and in with a fastball. It's 1-0. Kaufman's been on base twice today, walk and a single. Hasn't advanced beyond first base though. Also has a strikeout in the ballgame as well. That one against Walker Cleveland. Beers comes to that 1-0 pitch. This one misses low. It's 2-0 now. Now Eastern Michigan feeling good about a potential rally. Good hitters count here for Jared Kaufman. Beer stands in with the glove on his thigh. Now comes set right at the stomach. 2-0 pitch. Misses low again, ball 3. You gotta figure red light here probably for Jared Kaufman. After Beers just walked the batter before you and has thrown 3 straight balls. If he misfires again, you get yourself a free RBI and get mosey on down to first base. Kaufman crouches down in that right-handed batter's box and waits a 3-0 pitch, and it's a fastball called. Strike on the inside corner. 3-1 the count now. The air slightly tenser than it was just a couple batters ago here at the Fish. Just about everybody that was here earlier on has stuck around thus far, despite it being a 7-1 score. Beers comes set, 3-1 pitch. Fastball called, strike 2. You can hear the crowd, specifically the Michigan dugout, getting into it now. Big 3-2 payoff pitch upcoming. Buckley adjusts his glove, now steps in the batter's box. Beers looks in, gets his sign, and now comes set. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right side, out of play. Beers went with the fastball again, and Kaufman was ready. Took a hack at it and stayed alive. So give it another go here. Again, Kaufman steps in. Beers comes set. Bases loaded. 1 out here in the 7th. Payoff pitch. Hit in the air towards shallow left center field. Ranging in is Miles Lewis. He is going to make the grab almost in center field and fires a strong throw in that's cut off at the mound. No one's able to score on that one. Fly out. Get the second out of the inning here in the 7th. The bases remain loaded. That'll bring up Taylor Hopkins now, the shortstop. 0 for 3 on the day is Hopkins. Couple ground outs. Did get an RBI on one of those, though. In a fly out to right field. Or rather, a line out to right field. Officially ruled. Beer staying in there now. First pitch of this at-bat. Breaking ball misses high for ball 1-1. Count is 1-0 now. Hopkins, the left-hander. Beers, the right-hander. Beers comes set, the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss there on the pitch on the outside corner. The count is 1-1. Have not been many strikeouts at all in this ballgame today. Not too many swings and misses between the two teams. There's been 6 total strikeouts. 4 Eastern Michigan batters have gone down on strikes. 2 Michigan batters. Beers able to get a swing and miss there. On the 1-1 pitch, it's a fly ball towards left field. It's hooking near the line. Going over near the line is Blake Nelson. That one's going to get into the Michigan bullpen. Harmless foul ball that looked like it might have been ticketed to land just on that left field line in front of a charging Lewis and beyond a sprinting backwards Blake Nelson. As it stands, it hooked into that Michigan bullpen. If it was hit earlier on in the ballgame and the wind was blowing a little bit harder, might have stayed fair. Wind might have helped push it back towards fair territory, but wind's died down for the most part. Either way, 1-2 pitch now. This one's grounded out the middle. Blomgren fields. He's going to throw to first with it, and it is in time for out number 3. Blake Beers works out of a bases-loaded jam here in the 7th. Michigan still leads Eastern Michigan by a score of 7-1 as the Eagles strand the bases loaded again. So as we go to the middle of 7th here, a little bit of take me out to the ball game at Ray Fisher Stadium. So we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Michigan leading Eastern Michigan by a score of 7-1. I'm Austin Falco bringing you the action in today's midweek intra-state matchup. Eastern Michigan about to turn to their 4th pitcher of the ball game today. Sending in sophomore right-hander Luke McGuire. Luke McGuire, so far on this season, has made 15 appearances, including 5 starts. He's 2-2 with a 6.95 ERA. Pitched in 45 in the third innings. Struck out 23, but walked 27. Batters hit 288 against him. He's given up 18 extra base hits on the year, including 6 home runs. McGuire is a right-handed throwing sophomore out of Shelby Township, Michigan. Stands up there 6'2", 215. He'll get the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots in the Michigan order to start the bottom of the 7th. Miles Lewis, red hot on the ball game today, is going to stride up to start things here in the 7th. He's got 3 hits and 3 tries this far, 2 singles and a double. Each of them over to the left side. And thus the Eastern Michigan left side of the infield playing a little bit farther back, trying to increase the range a little bit. Second baseman Kaufman shaded over near the second base bag, just a little bit more than he normally would be. And Lewis takes a first pitch strike here. On the first look, he's getting at Luke McGuire. McGuire works out of the windup and works from the first base side of the rubber, just about as far over as you can get. And the 0-1 pitch from the righty misses on a breaking ball, low and away. Counts 1-1 now. Final stat line for Cook, who was in there for just an inning's worth of work, was 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs. He walked 1 and struck out 1. Miles Lewis grounds one that's knocked down by the pitcher out there. McGuire, he's going to field it, underhand to first base for out number 1. So Miles Lewis perfect at the plate, no more on the day, but still a really solid day at the plate for the redshirt senior. He'll turn things over to Jack Blomgren to try to get things started in the bottom of the 7th. With 1 gone and nobody on, Blomgren swings at the first pitch and fouls it off to the right side out of play. Down to 0-1 on the sophomore shortstop, who was 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out, but walked and scored a run in the 2nd and drove in a run on a sacrifice fly in the 5th. The windup here by McGuire, breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-2. Blomgren tried to pull his hands up out of the way and sell the fact that pitch missed inside, but ruled that it did catch the plate. Did home plate umpire Pete Peterson. 0-2 pitch now on the way. This one's a line drive, and it's caught out there by Kaufman at second base. A little bit of a hop, not hit quite high enough to get over the head of Kaufman out there. And so a line out will bring things to 2 outs in the 7th, and Casey Buckley will get a chance with no one on base. Still, again, trying for his first hit of his career. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A couple of pop-outs, but also has a sacrifice bunt in there. Does not count towards his at-bats. First pitch he sees here is a breaking ball, misses low and away. Count is 1-0. And despite him not quite having a hit in his 11 at-bats this year, has been impressive defensively, especially today. He's looked really solid behind the plate, very confident, very poised. Looks poised at the plate right now, too, as he takes a pitch that misses just off the outside corner. Took it with ease, and the count's 2-0. Winding up is McGuire, 2-0 pitch. Misses off the plate again, 3-0. And Buckley has not walked yet in his career either. So this would be a first for him, should McGuire misfire one more time. 3-0 pitch. Thought about swinging at Buckley, but he holds back on a pitch that catches the outside corner for a strike. It's 3-1 now. Buckley, the freshman, that's batting from the left side. 3-1 pitch, hit in the air towards left center, or rather right center field. Moving back on it is Cruz, who's taken over in center field. He makes the grab for out number 2, or rather out number 3 in the inning. A hard hit ball there by Buckley, but can't buy his first hit quite yet. So we'll head to the 8th inning. Michigan still leads EMU by a score of 7-1. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball here on WCBN Sports. As Cameron Cruz was the man taking over in center field. Cruz wears number 9 for Eastern Michigan and bats in the same spot that his predecessor Nate Jones was in the batting order, here in the 6th spot, and will lead off the 8th inning against a new pitcher for the Wolverines, Keaton Caratini, making his way into the ballgame. Caratini hasn't seen a ton of time this season for the Wolverines. This will be just his 3rd appearance. He's pitched 1 inning total on the season. His ERA is 18. In that 1 inning, he did give up 2 runs. He walked a couple in that total of 1 inning worth of work. Did not strike out a batter yet. And hitters hit .571 against him. But again, just 1 inning worth of sample size. So as much as we say small sample size for some of these numbers, that's about the smallest you can get almost. A single inning worth of work this season. It really shows you Eric Bakich used up his main arms for midweek series in yesterday's ball game. Going with the starter on the ball game, Isaiah Page, then going to Benjamin Kaiser, Angela Smith, and Jack Weisenberger to finish things out. All of them pitched extremely well and combined for a shutout of the Michigan State Spartans. Wouldn't be surprised to see that very same lineup next week when Michigan travels to Lexington to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Perhaps this week. Eric Bakich just getting them really into a groove for next week's series. And going into this weekend series as well, still available because they were used earlier on in the week. Would probably be available regardless, given the way the pitching staff for Michigan was able to give most of their pitchers in the bullpen a ton of rest. But now it's just about assured. So Caratini's first batter he will face will be the new center fielder for Eastern Michigan, Cameron Cruz. Cruz bats from the right side of the plate. Righty to righty, first pitch. Fastball right at the belt for a strike. It's 0-1. Caratini, a freshman right-hander from Encinitas, California. My bad, it's Encinitas, California. My mistake there. As the 0-1 pitch misses high and in for a ball, it's 1-1 now. Stays up there 6'2", 190. And just as it seems with most pitchers in this Michigan bullpen, has a lot of life on that fastball. Just got to rein it in at times, as with that last pitch. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball called, strike 2 on the outside corner. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Caratini looking perhaps for his first collegiate strikeout. He comes set at the belt. 1-2 pitch on the way. Just off the outside corner, tried to get a chase out of Cruz, and Cruz wasn't buying. So the count moves to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cruz, the senior out of Chandler, Arizona. Await the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Called! Strike 3. First collegiate strikeout for Caratini. And there's 1 out here in the 8th. He absolutely froze Cameron Cruz there. Couldn't tell what he was. Almost a front door slider, it looked like. And Cruz couldn't pull the trigger. And that'll bring up another pinch hitter in this ball game for Eastern Michigan. Looks to be Drake Peggs replacing Shane Esther, if my eyes are correct. It is indeed Drake Peggs.
Now pinch hitting for Eastern Michigan, number 5, Drake Peggs.
Peggs bats from the left side of the plate, as opposed to Esther batting from the right side against the new right-handed pitcher. Winding up now and firing the first pitch to Caratini. It's in there for a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Peggs, a junior out of Knightstown, Indiana, just 5'8", 175. That left-handed batter's box. Waggles the bat over the plate. Now over his left shoulder. The 0-1 pitch is fouled off to the left side. That'll get out of play to your Yost Ice Arena and bouncing off a van over there. Count is 0-2 now. Pegs on the season, 87 at-bats. He's batting 161 overall, a 260 on-base percentage. He had to have an extra base hit this season out of the 14 he does have. Caratini looks, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Keaton Caratini coming in and mowing down the first 2 hitters he sees. 1 strikeout looking, 1 strikeout swinging. That'll bring up Devin Hager. Hager on the day is 0 for 2, hit by pitch, fly out, and ground out. And his 4th time at the plate, he'll face his 4th different Michigan pitcher in Caratini. Righty to righty. Caratini comes set at the belt, fires the first pitch, strike. Looking good here early on is Caratini. He puts the glove up near his face, the ball behind his back. Gets his sign and then comes set at the belt. Very compact delivery, 0-1 pitch, high fastball, blew it right by Hager. And the count's 0-2. These Eastern hitters trying to catch up with this fastball of Caratini, and they just can't do it right now. Caratini comes set again. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just misses low, and the count is 1-2. Trying to get a chase perhaps out of Hager with looked to be a slider. Didn't get it. As Hager able to stick in there for at least 1 more pitch. Here comes the 1-2 from Caratini. Takes a breath. It's on its way. Breaking ball off the plate, low and away. Count moves to 2-2. So a couple of fastballs to get Caratini ahead in the count, and then goes a couple of breaking balls and can't get a chase on either of them. See, Caratini defaults to here on 2-2. He goes back to that fastball that worked, tries to get 1 more chase. 2-2 pitch on the way. This is a bouncer over near the Michigan dugout. That'll be foul, and staying alive is Hager. And Hager staying alive here at the plate. Been impressive in the field, has Hager. Hasn't made any spectacular plays, but everything hit his way he makes look easy out there. Which there's something to be said for just being a very solid, consistent fielder, especially over at the hot corner. Caratini comes set now on a 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, hanging in there and fouling it off down the right field line is Hager, staying alive yet again. So Caratini gets a new ball and takes a breath before stepping back onto the mound. Sequence been fastball, fastball, slider, slider, on fastball, slider. So we'll see where he goes with the next pitch. Coming set. 2-2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. Caratini points up, he's under it, and then gets called off by the third baseman, Blake Nelson, who ranges over near the first base side of the mound, actually, and makes the grab for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Keaton Caratini, including his first 2 collegiate strikeouts. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. He helps Michigan maintain their 7-1 lead over Eastern Michigan here on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball. We've got a new Eastern Michigan pitcher here as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Caleb Hester, redshirt junior out of Coloma, Michigan. The left-hander stands at 5'11" and 190 pounds. Coming into the ballgame for the 14th time this season. He's got 3 saves to lead the Eastern Michigan staff, but is 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA. Pitched 17 in a third innings, struck out 11, but walked 13 in that time frame. And batters hit .380 against the left-hander, including 8 extra base hits in those 17 and a third innings. So it seems to be the MO here of a lot of these Eastern Michigan pitchers out of the bullpen is they are susceptible to getting hit hard. Michigan hasn't done much against them, though. They've scored 1 run off the bullpen. Everything else has come off the starter Tyler Coons earlier in the ballgame. And as such, the day is closed for Luke McGuire, who was in before Hester. McGuire went 1 inning even. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Clean across the board there for McGuire, and never really gave you the Michigan final stat lines for the day. Joe Pace was the starter. He went an inning and a third. 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Walker Cleveland then came in, went 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, no runs for him. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 1. Blake Beers, 2 innings of work. 2 hits for him. No runs. And 1 walk to 2 strikeouts. And Caratini's day not quite done yet for now. Akeo Thomas steps in, takes the first pitch low for ball 1, and then hits a drive out towards left center field. That's going to be ranged under, though, by Timko, who makes the grab for out number 1. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Michigan cycles back up to the top of the order for the 5th time today, and Jordan Wogu will step up to the plate. Wogu having himself a very Jordan Wogu day, on base twice, including a 2-run home run. Takes the first pitch breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. As that bats in order today, fly out to center, deep center field at that, then got hit by a pitch on the foot. Went opposite field for a home run that just cleared the right field wall. And then struck out looking, and now he pops one to the right side. Ranging back on it is the first baseman, Owings. The second baseman, Kaufman, ranges out there and now makes the grab, stumbling a bit for out number 2. So fly out to left, pop out to eventually second base. Starts this inning here on just 4 pitches. There's been 2 outs recorded by Caleb Hester. And now Jesse Franklin comes to the plate. Franklin 1 for 3 in the ball game, reached base on a walk and a strikeout this far in this one. Has enough a run scored and an RBI. First pitch to Franklin, lefty-lefty. He swings and misses. Ugly swing there. Went about 3/4 of the way around on a breaking ball that missed low and away. So that'll be strike 1. What we say about Jesse Franklin, I've said it in yesterday's broadcast, but as the 0-1 pitch, the breaking ball, it misses outside, 1-1. You can fool Jesse Franklin with a breaking ball, that big lefty-lefty breaking ball, probably once in at bat. And after he's seen it once, he's probably not going to chase it again. Might swing through it later on, but probably won't chase, as this one is a line drive into center field. It'll get past the glove of Hopkins for a base hit there. Franklin's second single of the day, and with 2 outs as a runner on for Jordan Brewer.
Right fielder Jordan Brewer.
Brewer back to his usual ways after an 0 for 5 day yesterday. He's 2 for 3 today, including a walk in there as well. Double and a single are his 2 hits. He's also swiped a bag in this one as well. Good chance against the lefty Hester. Hester comes set, first pitch, breaking ball, swing and foul off back behind the plate. Counts 0-1. Looked like Brewer was sitting breaking ball there, was waiting back on it, and it broke just a little more than he was expecting, so he barely got a piece of it and fouled it back. Otherwise, would have been able to do some serious damage with it. It's a big swing from the big righty. 0-1 pitch to him as a breaking ball. It misses high and away. It doesn't get back to the plate. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Franklin probably not going to go anywhere over there at first base. Despite being a speedy center fielder, gets some great jumps. He's just 3 for 3 this year on stolen bases. As the one pitch is fouled off to the right field line, and that'll get out of play to the parking lot. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Wolverine right fielder. Hester looks into the new catcher, Wolanski, behind the plate. And now fires a 1-2 pitch that's lined towards center field. Going back is Cruz near the track. That's good over his head and bounce the one to hop off the wall. Jesse Franklin is around third. He's coming to score. Brewer, actually the throw coming to the plate is going to be late. Brewer goes to third now after being on second base. The throw there is late as well. That'll go as an RBI double for Jordan Brewer. Michigan leads 8-1 now. Second double of the day for Brewer, first RBI of the day for Brewer. Great hustle by Franklin, definitely back to full speed. Jimmy Kerr now up with 2 outs and a runner on third. Really just shows you how quick the Michigan offense can strike. Doesn't ultimately matter too much for this ball game, but overall, just at top of the order, one guy gets on, one guy drives him in. It's a fairly simple process. Saw it in yesterday's ball game as well, as Jimmy Kerr takes a fastball up high for ball 1. When Jordan Wogu started the ball game with a triple, and Franklin immediately drove in with a sacrifice fly. It was 3 guys at the top of the order just really know how to get the job done in really any given situation. The 1-0 fastball is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Hester looks in for the sign, comes set at the belt. 1-1 pitch, lefty-lefty, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Bit of an uglier swing there from Jimmy Kerr, and he's down the count 1-2 now. And that is the one thing Jimmy Kerr struggles, that lefty-lefty breaking ball can be susceptible to it at times, as we saw right there on that pitch. See if Hester goes back to it, 1-2. He does, but it misses well away. Sliding and just blocking it is Wolanski, the catcher. So the count's going to move to 2-2. Alex Wolanski behind the plate this inning. Replaced Nick Jones. And he watches Jimmy Kerr hit one high and deep to left center, or left field. It's going back near the track, and that one bounces just foul. No, actually, no. It bounced in fair territory and then bounced over the wall. That's a ground rule double and an RBI for Jimmy Kerr. Got lost in the corner there for a second. And how's about that? Jimmy Kerr with the RBI double. He gets on base, gets a hit today. Gets in the RBI department, drives in Jordan Brewer, and the score is now 9-1. That'll bring up Blake Nelson. Blake Nelson 1 for 4 in the ballgame today. Singled and scored back in the 5th. Other than that, not much doing. Couple of ground outs and a fly out. Jimmy Kerr's out there on second after the RBI ground rule double. It bounced off that high wall right in the corner. One hop to that high wall, and then made its way into the Michigan bullpen. First pitch to Blake Nelson for this at-bat here. Misses well outside. The count's 1-0. This looks to just be Hester's inning, but there is one Eastern Michigan arm warming up just in case something gets well out of hand, and they just need to finish it off. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off to the right side, and that'll bounce off the screen over the Eastern Michigan dugout. And count moves to 1-1. As I was saying, the new catcher in the ball game, to update you, was Alex Wolanski. He's a redshirt senior out of Naperville, Illinois. Catching Caleb Hester on the mound right now. 1-1 pitch. Call a strike on the inside corner to Nelson, rather. The count's now 1-2. Kerr out there on second. Not the fastest, but should definitely score on a single to the outfield. Without a throw at that, especially with 2 outs. Looking back at him now, and the 1-2 pitch to home is going to get behind Nelson and stopped by Wolanski somehow. And the count is 2-2. Nice play by Wolanski. Just kind of stuck out the glove right where he figured that pitch was going to bounce and was able to stop that breaking ball, bounce it right back in front of the plate. So Kerr had to stay at second. Hester trying to get out of the inning here with minimal damage. Comes set, 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses low and away. It's 3-2 now. Blake Nelson working the count. Something he does very well, despite not taking a ton of walks compared to the rest of this Wolverine team. Prefers to put the bat on the ball and does a pretty good job of doing that with a .338 batting average. 3-2 pitch on the way. This one's hit on a line drive towards left field. It's sinking and making a sliding attempt. It's going to get past Timko in left field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Scoring is Kerr. On his way to third now is Nelson. The throw there will be cut off. He slides in safely, which should be an RBI triple now for Blake Nelson. Michigan hits double digits yet again, the 4th time in their last 5 games. They're up 10-1 now. See how it's officially scored, but I believe that 100% should be a triple. It is indeed a triple. It's a tough play out there for the left fielder, Timko. Tried a diving stab at it, but bounced just in front of him and then bounced past him to the wall. Couldn't recover in time fast enough, even in left field, to have a shot at Nelson at third. So we get a quick visit to the mound now by Eastern Michigan pitching coach. And now after that, we are ready for a pinch hitter in Miles Lewis's place in the lineup. Miles Lewis, a good day for him today, 3 for 4. He will turn over to Matthew Schmidt. Or sorry, Riley Burcham, not Matthew Schmidt there. Riley Burcham is the one that made his way out of the dugout. And he will get a shot here with a runner on third. And most likely finish off the game in Lewis's spot in left field. First pitch to him bounces well in front of the plate. It's 1-0. Burcham, the freshman out of Zionsville, Indiana, switch hitter batting from the right side against the left-handed throwing Hester. He's 3 for 9 this season in his inaugural campaign. He fouls it over to the Eastern Michigan side now, and he gets the count up at 1-1. 3 hits in his 9 trips to the plate, including a double. He's driven in 4 runs. So incredibly efficient here when he comes into these ball games in these late situations, gets a chance to be in the ball game. Really does a good job of showing out, proving himself for future playing time down the line, especially next season when you got some departures, most likely from this Wolverine team. 1-1 pitch misses outside. It's 2-1 now. And you look at the Wolverine lineup, it is a fairly young lineup, but Jimmy Kerr is gone, Miles Lewis is gone, Blake Nelson gone, as the 2-1 pitch misses high and away for ball 3. It's 3-1 now. There's going to be spots available for guys like Riley Burcham. Most notably, even at second base there, K.O. Thomas also leaving after this season. A lot of young talent sticking around. Jordan Brewer also a potential candidate to leave as well with how well he's played. Riley Burcham takes the ball outside for ball 4. He works the walk, his first collegiate walk at that. The runners at the corners, another pinch hitter coming up here. It's going to be Christian Bullock and Jack Blomgren's spot in the order. But Bullock will not be facing Hester. As making the slow walk out to the mound is Eric Roof. He takes the ball from his left-handed reliever. We'll see who he goes to face Bullock here. Trying to finish off this 8th inning. Hester's line also not officially finished off just because he is responsible for these 2 runners on base on third and first, but couldn't get through more than 2/3 of the inning without giving up those 4 hits. We'll turn the ball over to Nick Pareto. Pareto is a right-handed throwing junior out of Geneva, Illinois, redshirt junior to be exact. Stands up there at 6'4", another tall reliever out of that Eastern Michigan bullpen. He'll appear for the 14th time this year. He started 4 games. He's 0-3 with a 9.99 ERA. He's pitched 33 and 1/3 innings, struck out 17, walked 18. Batters hit .368 against the big right-hander, including 16 extra base hits in that time frame. So pretty much the same book as with many of these Eastern Michigan pitchers is high batting averages against, potential problems with walking hitters, but not a ton of strikeout in their game altogether. He will face Christian Bullock, and if Bullock should reach, it'll be Casey Buckley. Runners on first and third. You have to imagine probably Riley Bertram coming in and playing infield, whereas Bullock would go out and probably take Lewis's spot in left field come defensive changes next inning. For Eastern Michigan, the pinch hitters they had last inning, with Cruz coming into the game, and then Jake Peggs being a pinch hitter, he stayed in right field, where Shane Esther started the ball game. Peggs came in and was the second strikeout victim of Caratini in the top of this 8th inning. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, though, first and third, 2 outs. Michigan's already scored 3 more runs. Christian Bullock gets his chance. He watches a first pitch fastball miss outside. It's 1-0. Barreto drops down a bit of a sidearm delivery, a little bit of a hitch in his delivery as well, as he brings that arm back. And he fires a fastball, swing and a miss from Bullock there. It's 1-1. Prior to leaving the ball game, Jack Blomgren was 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a walk, which he scored a run, before turning over his spot in the lineup to Christian Bullock, who takes the 1-1 pitch low on the breaking ball. It's 2-1 now. Bullock on the season has 61 at-bats, batting .279 with a .375 on-base percentage. Waits 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. Breaking ball misses low and in. It's 3-1 now. Does have some issues with strikeouts in his game, but also not afraid to work a walk in just those 61 at-bats. He has walked 9 times to go along with those 61 at-bats. 3-1 pitch to him. Misses outside, ball 4. So bases will be loaded now, and would be a great time for Casey Buckley's first career hit if he can register it right here. Buckley 0 for 3 on the day, sacrifice bunt, then a couple of pop-outs, and a hard hit fly out in his last at-bat in the 7th. We're looking to get on base for the first time. Hasn't walked yet either. Worked a nice 3-1 count before that hard hit fly out in the 7th. Gets another chance here. Batting from the left side. The righty Barreto comes set. First pitch outside, ball 1. Should Buckley be able to even work a walk here, it'd be his first career RBI. One of these first career watches for Casey Buckley today, who's been very solid behind the plate in this midweek action, getting just the second start of his career. 1-0 pitch to him. Catches the outside corner. Didn't look so sure from up here, and Casey Buckley didn't seem to agree at the plate, but Pete Peterson flashing up the strike call, and now it's 1-1. Buckley, the 9th hitter of the inning. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. Ball 2. Should he reach, Akeo Thomas is not on the on-deck circle. It's Dominic Clementi. So it would literally be the 10th different hitter of the inning for the Wolverines, if they can get there. 2-1 pitch to Buckley. That one's right at the belt for strike 2. Looked like he went with a changeup there. Had Buckley out a little in front, and he couldn't pull the trigger. It's now 2-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bases are loaded. Michigan leads 10-1. Buckley looking for his first career hit, first career RBI. Here comes 2-2 pitch. Hits one in the air towards left center field. Ranging over into the gap is Cruz, but it'll be caught there. Looked like Timko was going to cut him off for a second, but it was Cruz who made the grab in left center field for out number 3. So I have to wait just a little bit longer for Casey Buckley's first career hit, but Michigan does score 3 more times that inning to extend their lead to 10-0 over Eastern Michigan. Just about a formality at this point to finish off this ball game here on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And thank you for tuning in to today's ball game. And just one more reminder that we do have this weekend series on tap here at WCBN Sports against Indiana. Game times for that one, 8 p.m. on Friday night. and 2 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. Battle of first place versus second place in the Big Ten, jockeying for position not only in the final Big Ten standings, looking for a Big Ten title, but also for seeding in the Big Ten tournament for two teams that will certainly be there. Big Ten race, a very interesting one at this point in the season. It was bundled up for most of the year, and still pretty bundled up in two key areas. Right at the top, you've got Michigan, and right behind them, Indiana is 2.5 games back. Nebraska is 3 games back, and both Iowa and Minnesota are 3.5 games back. And Iowa is really a team to watch out for. They are red hot right now and moving their way into rankings across all the major polls. Meanwhile, only the top 8 teams make the Big Ten tournament, and right at that turn, around that 7th through 9th seeds right now, Rutgers is in 7th with an 8-9 record. Maryland and Northwestern are tied for that 8th spot, just a half game behind them at 8-10. And just a half game behind them is Purdue. If you want to go down one farther, even a half game behind Purdue is Ohio State. Very bundled up there. A lot of teams looking to fight their way into the Big Ten tournament over the next couple weekends. Should be a very fun and interesting way to finish off this Big Ten season. And always great when, if you're a Michigan fan, you're looking from up on top of the standings and just having to worry about fending teams off instead of trying to catch teams later on down the stretch. For now, though, they have to finish off business. One more inning to go against Eastern Michigan, and it will be Keaton Caratini in his second inning of work. He's going to face a pinch hitter here, Mike Monahan. Left-handed hitter hits one foul on the left field line on the first pitch he sees. The count is 0-1. Monahan 0 for 1 on the season this far. Does have a walk, though, so his on-base percentage is .500. And does have an RBI on the year as well. Caratini comes set, 0-1 pitch. This one is grounded towards second base. Fielding over there is Blake Nelson. He throws over to first for out number 1. 4-3 on the put out there. Nelson does move over to second base. Riley Burcham stays in the game over at shortstop. Christian Bullock goes into left field, and replacing Blake Nelson over at third and replacing Akeo Thomas in the lineup is Jack Van Remortel. So now Stephen Karras will be a pinch hitter here for Eastern Michigan. Karras has batted 64 times this year, and he takes a first pitch strike from Caratini. It's 0-1. Karras, 172 batting average on the season, 232 on base percentage. Down on the count here, 0-1 to Keaton Caratini, 0-1 pitch. Fastball called, strike 2 right at the belt. The count's 0-2. Caratini really just in a groove right now. Ever since coming into the game, pounding the strike zone, getting ahead early, and working from there. It makes your job a lot easier as a pitcher, especially someone in their freshman campaign, if you can get ahead early in counts. Does have to work with a lot of stress as well, with bases empty and ahead 10-1. He gets a swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout of the day and of the career for Keaton Caratini. And Eastern Michigan now down to their final out. It'll be the third baseman, or rather first baseman, Zachary Owings. Big left-hander, best hitter in the Eastern Michigan lineup. The final task perhaps for Caratini. First pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball looked like just missed low. Count is 1-0. Caratini coming set. Looking for the sign, gets it, 1-0. Fastball called, strike 1. Fooled Owings there, it looked like. Might have been more than just the fastball. Might have been more the slider there, because Owings tried to kind of back out of the way. The count even up at 1 apiece. Buckley comes set. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball towards second base. Running over, making the play is Nelson on the run to first. In time, got him. That'll do it. 1-2-3 inning again from Caratini. He comes in, retires the last 6 batters he faces, and Michigan wins this ball game by a score of 10-1. And just really a dominant outing for Michigan after the first couple innings of play. It took a little bit to get going. Eastern Michigan took the lead 1-0 and left runners on base 6 over the first 4 innings. But after that, it was all Michigan. After putting up a 3 spot in the second, they were able to add on 6 more throughout the ball game, 2 in the 4th, another one in the 5th, on the 3 in the bottom of the 8th. So really put it away and put them in double digits yet again. Just an all-around solid ball game played by the Wolverines, up and down the lineup, up and down the pitching staff, really, aside from the bit of an underwhelming outing to start from Joe Pace. Nevertheless, Walker Cleveland, who came in for him, will get the win. He moves to 4-1. Tyler Coons, the starter, takes the loss and moves to 0-1 on the season. No save awarded in this ball game today. But that's to be expected in what ends up being a 10-1 finish. So we're just about finished up here. Final line scores: Eastern Michigan 1 run on 7 hits, 2 errors. Michigan 10 runs on 13 hits, and played yet another clean ball game here at the Fish. No errors on the scoreboard to show. That will do it for this midweek broadcast of Michigan baseball. Again, we have all 3 games of the upcoming weekend series against Indiana, 8 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. I'll be with you for all 3. Alex Shee will join me on Friday and Sunday. I have been Austin Falco. For all of us here at WCBN Sports, we thank you for listening in to another Michigan win, 13 in a row. And we leave you with a good night, and as always, a Go Blue.